Survival for all. I start by building a mecha and piloting a Gundam. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 101, The Battle of the Lizardman Tribe. Tang Xiaofan asked in his heart, but got no response, so he could only give up temporarily. After closing the world chat channel, Tang Xiaofan contacted the little Lalita in the underground world and asked about the defense of her castle. The little Lalita replied that her castle was safe and told Tang Xiaofan not to worry. Tang Xiaofan also felt that his worry was a bit redundant. Even if the strength of the little Lalita's castle was not as good as his black technology castle, it was not much worse than those of the top castle owners. After all, there were only 3 defensive buildings in the Black Iron Dwarf castle. The outermost wall, plus several arrow towers, surrounded the castle tightly, and the defense capability was very impressive. In addition, the dwarf Xavier who defected to the little Lalita has now been promoted to the king level commander. The number of dwarf warriors in the Black Iron Dwarf castle has reached hundreds, each wearing armor, holding weapons, and fully armed. Such a powerful castle will not be broken by the initial beast tide. What's more, the little Lali is blessed by the goddess of luck. Tang Xiaofan believes that, even if she encounters danger, she can still turn it into safety. Tang Xiaofan. The little Lali seemed very happy and sent a message to Tang Xiaofan. After becoming a ranger, can Ke leave the underground world and go to the surface to find Tang Xiaofan? Browsing the world chat channel is the little Lali's only entertainment activity. She knows more about current affairs than Tang Xiaofan. She also knows some things that Tang Xiaofan doesn't know, and some information he has missed. The ranger's affairs are so hot, she naturally knew about it a long time ago. Tang Xiaofan thought for a moment and replied, becoming a ranger can only be considered temporary freedom. You don't have to resist the beast tide, but the crisis is not far away. A ranger is alone in the god and demon continent, especially the underground world you are in now. It will be even more dangerous. Don't blindly change to a ranger. Besides, the world is so big. You are billions of miles away from the forest where I am. How can you come to me alone now? Tang Xiaofan's calm analysis made the little Lalita understand that this plan would not work in the short term. The little Lalita patted her head in annoyance. Tang Xiaofan continued, develop your Black Iron Dwarf castle well, stick to it, and you will have a chance to see me in the future. Yeah, Tang Xiaofan, Kenna listens to you. After ending the call, Tang Xiaofan now understood that the problem on the little Lalita's side was not big. What we need to do now is to defend my black technology castle. Tang Xiaofan thought about it and contacted the 2nd regiment of warriors who were still attacking the Lizardman tribe. Let the warriors end the war with the Lizardman tribe as soon as possible and return to the black technology castle. In addition, Pan ordered Zena to convey his coordinated defense order. The goblin tribe is now his power, and the goblins in the tribe are all his soldiers. Dispatching the goblin corps can strengthen the defense of the black technology castle. Moreover, as a weak local force, the goblin tribe may also be attacked by the beast tide. Their current strength is so weak that they may be swallowed by the beast tide. It will be bad if it affects their points. At the same time, in the Lizardman tribe, the war between the 2nd Warrior Regiment and the Lizardman tribe has also entered a white-hot stage. The houses of the Lizardman tribe are built of mountain stones and look very primitive and simple. Because the Lizardmen are very large, their stone houses are also built very tall. It looks a bit spectacular. This is a small Lizardman tribe, and very few Lizardman civilizations remain. There are about 500 Lizardmen in the tribe, but after the battle in the underground world, the number of Lizardmen in this tribe has dropped to about 400. And all the Lizardmen who died in the battle are elite warriors. This also directly reduces the overall strength of the Lizardman tribe. At this moment, the battle in the valley was fierce. Kill. Drive out these evil creatures from another world, and protect the tribe. Shameful goblins. They actually surrendered to creatures from another world, and knelt at the feet of the evil god. This is a shame for the intelligent race of the god and demon continent. Absolutely unforgivable. After defeating these invaders, we will wipe out the goblin tribe and make them pay the price. Tribal warriors are not allowed to retreat. In the valley, many lizardmen were roaring and roaring. The leader was the chief of the lizardman tribe, the leader of the 18th level peak lizardmen. Next were 5 command level lizardmen. Originally, there were 8 lizardmen commanders in this tribe, but 3 of them had died on the battlefield of the underground world of the goblin tribe. In addition to them, there were more than 300 lizardmen participating in the battle on the valley battlefield. There were nearly 200 elite lizardmen. Lizardmen are natural warriors. Even young lizardmen can charge into battle with weapons. In this battle to defend the tribe, no lizardmen stayed out. All the lizardmen joined together to resist Tang Xiaofan's second group of warriors. Disloyal people, how dare you blaspheme the Lord? The Lord is the creator of all living things and the enforcer of the universe. He is not a believer in evil gods. Blame the Lord and be punished. Xana held a double-edged giant axe and chopped at the head of the lizardman leader. Sure. A flash of cold light flashed, and the second lizardman leader was easily killed by him. Xana has easily killed 2 lizardmen at the level 16 commander level. After killing 2 lizardmen leaders and more than a dozen lizardmen elites in succession, the energy values Xana gained instantly allowed him to break through the peak of level 20. The golden light of promotion appeared on his body. He was promoted to level 20 directly in the battle. Believers in evil gods, die. Swoosh. With a loud bang, a 2-meter long mace fell from the sky and smashed in front of Xana. The person who came was the chief of the lizardman tribe, an 18th level peak lizardman warrior. Disloyal people. Xana was fearless. He held a huge axe and chopped at the giant mace made of fine iron. Bang! The huge axe and the mace collided with each other, and a powerful energy shock wave appeared instantly, and the energy wave was transmitted hundreds of meters away. Many lizardmen in this range were unstable, but the warriors were not affected much. After all, the average level of the warriors' second regiment was as high as level 14, and the balanced system of the Mark II armor was extremely powerful, which could easily withstand such shockwaves. The warriors' figures were not affected at all, and they killed the lizardmen on the battlefield without any hindrance. The machine guns and huge axes formed a death noose and were wrapped around the remaining lizardmen. The level, strength and even life level of the lizardmen were too different. They were no match for the warriors at all. Even the commander level lizardmen on the battlefield were quickly killed by the huge axe. The powerful force from the lizardman chieftain could not make Xana retreat a bit, and the lizardman chieftain was shocked and retreated several steps. Chapter 102. The lizardman chieftain cut into 2 pieces with 1 axe. How is it possible? The lizardman chieftain was very surprised. He, a peak level 18 warrior, was facing a warrior who had just entered level 20, but he couldn't shake the opponent at all. Just a huge rock. He couldn't withstand his full strength attack. What kind of creatures are these steel monsters wrapped in armor? Don't they have flesh and blood, or are they monsters made of steel all over? Soon the lizardman chieftain's face was ferocious. His skin was green, and his face showed an angry expression. He roared at Xana, "Why do you creatures from another world want to invade my tribe?" Xana sneered and raised his arm with a machine gun, pointed at the head of the lizardman chieftain, and said with a cold expression, "The group of goblins in the underground world are the Lord's believers. Your tribe attacked without authorization, and the Lord ordered us to wipe out you disloyal people." Disloyal people, the lizardman chieftain said angrily, "The intelligent races of the gods and demons continent do not need faith, and will never surrender." At this time, the other warriors also ended the battle, and pointed their guns at the lizardman chieftain. "Stop struggling." Xana motioned him to look around and said, "Almighty Lord, come to this world. This world should be shrouded by the Lord's glory. Faith can make all races in the world stronger, and can also redeem your fallen souls. This is the bewitching of the faith evil god." The lizardman chief looked at the battlefield, where there were not many shouts and killings. He knew that many of his people had died. He held the wolf tooth hazel tightly. Although he didn't know the machine gun, the flames and steel chains sprayed by the weapon were threatening. So many powerful steel alien creatures surrounded him, and he felt a lot of pressure. But his will was very firm. He insisted that the one standing behind these steel monsters was the faith evil god. The era of faith in the gods has disappeared from the god and demon continent. Now is the era of truth. Why do things that have passed away come back again? Shameful faith in the evil god. The lizardman chief watched his people die unwillingly. He roared angrily, releasing all the magic power in his body and condensing it in the mace in his hand. Then he forcibly broke through the level of confinement and forcibly upgraded to level 20 at the cost of burning his life. Xana took a look and said, "Shoot." Suddenly, countless flames burst out. Bullets rained down on the lizardman chieftain's body like a torrential rain. He dodged urgently and avoided the fatal blow. But after all, the rain of bullets was too dense, and he still failed to avoid it completely. His back was hit by the rain of bullets, and suddenly there were cuts several tens of centimeters long, and blood was dripping, and deep into the bones. The lizardman chieftain almost fainted from the pain. He barely concentrated, and quickly fled to the dense forest outside the valley. You can't escape. Xana was faster than him. His steel armor was like a ghost, and he held a huge double-edged battle axe horizontally, directly blocking the lizardman chieftain's escape path. Get out of the way. At this moment, the bloody lizardman chieftain roared and roared. He didn't have much time. He raised the giant wolf tooth hazel high, his veins exposed, and instantly smashed towards Xana. As a peak level 20 warrior, the lizardman chieftain's blood was surging, and a strange feeling was surging in his body. At this moment, he was at the king level, and his strength was extremely powerful. If it were the previous level 18 goblin chieftain, he would definitely not be able to resist his angry attack. After all, the blood of the lizardman people is known for its strength. In a pure strength contest of the same level, many races are not as good as the lizardman. In the field of pure strength, the lizardman clan can definitely be ranked at the upper level of the 10,000 races in the god and demon continent. However, facing the angry attack of the lizardman chieftain, Xana was not panicked. As a warrior who charged into battle formations, close combat was his best field. It was just a strength contest, why should he be afraid? Come on. With Xana's low shout, he turned into a residual image, holding the double-edged giant axe horizontally, and swung a semicircle to chop it over. At the edge of the circle, the axe blade instantly chopped towards the mace of the lizardman chieftain. There was a loud bang. The body of the lizardman chieftain flew up immediately, and half of his mace made of fine iron kept rolling in front of his eyes. Impossible. The lizardman chieftain roared in fear. His mace was a high-level equipment, but now it was cut off by a residual image, leaving only a small half. This made him unbelievable. Suddenly, a sharp pain came, and he found that his right hand was gone, leaving only the broken arm spurting blood. This was the shock from a terrible force. Forcibly tore his body apart. He widened his eyes again, and saw the half-body on the ground, like his own legs. The Lord said that everything has a destiny. If you violate the destiny given by the Lord, the only end is destruction. Xana held a huge axe, and looked coldly at the lizardman chieftain who was broken into two pieces. He was like a martial god, so powerful that it was shocking. The creatures of gods and demons, the destiny is only in their own hands. The lizardman chieftain was in pain, but he still insisted. Even at the end of his life, his will to pursue the truth remained firm. He firmly believed that faith was just the deception of the evil god. However, this did not prevent him from dying and becoming a meaningless nutrient, and returning to the earth. End the battle and return to the Black Technology Castle. Xana gave an order and the warriors on the battlefield began to clean up the battlefield. Before the death of the lizardman chieftain, almost all the lizardmen on the battlefield were dead. Almost all the lizardmen fled after seeing each other, and had no intention of resisting. This caused the lizardman camp to collapse completely, resulting in almost complete casualties. In just a few minutes, facing the clearing and hunting of the warrior team, there was no lizardman left standing in the valley, and all fell in a pool of blood. With a rumbling sound, the heart of the lizardman tribe was also destroyed by the warriors. The stone houses and stone towers in the tribe seemed to have lost their foundations and collapsed one after another, turning into ruins. At the same time, some warriors were shrouded in golden light, which was a promotion. They broke through the lizardman tribe and killed more than 300 lizardmen, including an 18th level lord, 5 commanders, and about 200 elites. Many warriors who were at the late and peak levels of their current levels were directly promoted to higher levels. After a short battle, the warriors were still the same as before, without any injuries or fatigue. Their professional qualities also allowed them to maintain their physical strength very well. Xana nodded with satisfaction. This team will no longer belong to the warrior group, but will also be the sword in the hands of the Lord. He gave orders, only take away important things, other supplies can be taken after the beast tide is over. Yes. Important supplies are naturally soulstones and other items. As for the equipment, scattered on the battlefield, as well as the food, wood, stone and other supplies stored by the Lizardman tribe, it is too late to transport them back to the Black Technology Castle. They can only wait until the beast tide is over before moving them. Chapter 103 The Quarrel between Dafeng Xiao and Langsing. Then, Xana summoned the Goblin Elder. The Goblin Elder also participated in the battle, and was very brave. As for the Goblin warriors he brought, unfortunately, all died under the mace of the Lizard Man. Respected God's envoy. The Goblin Elder respectfully prostrated himself in front of Xana. He also gained a lot of combat experience, which was a special benefit, after becoming a soldier under Tang Xiaofan. However, in the heart of the Goblin Elder, he firmly believed that this was the favor of the Lord, the blessing and reward of the Almighty Lord for his heroic battle. Based on this, his belief in Tang Xiaofan directly rose to a high level. At this time, Xana said, "The Lord has sent down an oracle, ordering you to return to the tribe quickly, to summon all the goblins, and the whole tribe will go to the Lord's Black Technology Castle, to avoid the upcoming beast tide." Yes, God's envoy. Praise the Almighty Lord. The Goblin Elder quickly got up, and ran out of the valley. Because the Goblin tribe in the underground world was attacked by the Lizardmen, they had been ready to move at any time. When the Goblin Elder came back, and brought the news that the Lizardman tribe was completely wiped out, the Goblin tribe was boiling. Then, he notified the beast tide that was coming, and the whole tribe went to the Black Technology Castle to avoid it. Now, a full 1,000 goblins lined up in a team, and poured out of the underground world in high spirits. Everyone, go to the Lord's castle, to avoid the beast tide. Let's set off immediately. Yes. Long live the Lord. Suddenly, the mighty team walked towards the Black Technology Castle. They wanted to enter the Lord's castle before the beast tide came, so everyone was lightly equipped and moved very fast. On the other side, all the members of the 2nd Regiment of Warriors also returned to the Black Technology Castle. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun was shining in the sky. However, the forest became strangely silent, as if it was the prelude to the coming storm. Finally, the roar of the wild monsters sounded again, as if the drums of war awakened the entire forest. And time goes back to an hour ago. Tang Xiaofan was admiring the soft but eye-catching light of the arc reactor, and received news of the battle in front. Your farmer killed a level 16 commander level lizardman, and obtained 100 soulstones. Your farmer killed a level 18 lord level lizardman and obtained soulstones plus 100, blueprint card plus 1, super armor plus 1. Your troops killed a level 12 elite lizardman, and obtained soulstones plus 21. Your troops destroyed the tribal heart of the Lizardman tribe, and gained an extra soulstone. Plus 100, you destroyed the Lizardman tribe. The influence and reputation of your Black Technology Castle in the God and Demon continent have been greatly improved. Special reminder, the Lizardman tribe has increased their hatred towards your castle forces. In the Black Technology Castle, Tang Xiaofan looked at the information prompts that kept appearing, with a smile on his face. In this battle with the Lizardman tribe, the first war was in the underground world, where the 2nd Warrior Regiment and the Goblin tribe killed more than 100 elite lizardmen and 3 commander level lizardmen. The second war was in the Lizardman tribe, where nearly 400 lizardmen were killed, including 1 lord, 5 commanders, about 200 elites, and more than 100 ordinary lizardmen. In addition to destroying the heart of the Lizardman tribe, Tang Xiaofan estimated that he had harvested at least 1,000 soulstones in the 2 battles, or even more. In addition, he accidentally obtained a blueprint by killing the peak level 18 Lizardman chief. Absolutely a great harvest. Now, we just have to wait for the return of the 2nd Regiment of Warriors. In addition to the 2nd Regiment of Warriors, the Goblin tribe is also on the way. Tang Xiaofan stood on the balcony on the top floor of the castle, looking through the wall at the dense forest outside. In the dense forest, the ancient trees were shaking, flocks of birds were flying, and the roars of the monsters sounded like war drums. In less than half an hour, the initial beast tide would sweep in. Blue Star. At this moment, everyone was watching the live broadcast. Even those who usually didn't pay much attention were attracted by this wave sweeping the world. Have the people in your country changed their jobs? Yes, they have changed. We have to specialize in rangers. Alas, the initial troops are not good. A group of archers can't withstand the monsters at all. That's good. It's better than being rejected. Have you seen the miserable situation of the spraying pot country? Their country just suffered a magma outburst. Can you imagine? Magma suddenly erupted in the city and the whole country was paralyzed. Yes, no one doesn't take this embodiment seriously now. But, have you seen the live broadcast of the guy from Dragon Country? He is too powerful. Yes, if this goes on, we players will just be foils. Well, I heard that it seems that other countries are jointly putting pressure on Dragon Country. That's right, the practice of the God and Demon continent is a disaster for the entire Blue Star, but also an opportunity for the entire Blue Star. Everyone should share the benefits, and share the risks. That's right, share the benefits, and share the risks. Blue Star, United Nations headquarters. Unlike the shouting on the internet, the global conference at this moment has fallen into an unprecedented solemnity. My Dragon Country expresses deep sympathy for the plight of certain countries. At the same time, Dragon Country is willing to provide these countries with the best possible help. What? The best possible help? We don't know the strength of Dragon Country yet. You should help with all your strength. That's right. Dragon Country should bear all the losses caused by the invasion of the gods and demons continent this time. That's right. My Chow Country believes that Dragon Country should bear it. My Mizzy Country seconded. My Sakura Country seconded. My Mutan Country seconded. Seconded. Just as the crowd was excited and besieged Dragon Country together, a firm voice sounded. I oppose. You are a rogue. The invasion of the gods and demons continent is fair to all countries. However, because of your players, these disasters have occurred now. You should reflect on why this is the case. There is a big problem with your education and culture. The speaker was Dragon Country's diehard Zio Zingo. As dragon descendants, they naturally felt proud of Dragon Country's strong position in the gods and demons continent. That's right. Don't think it's still 100 years ago. We Asians are not so easy to bully. This is a representative of the Potato Country. He has blonde hair and blue eyes, but he considers himself a nation. There are also small countries such as the Rice Country, the Flower Country, and the Not Red Country cheering for the Dragon Country. The representative of the Polar Bear Country, who had not spoken, patted the table and said calmly, "Okay, stop arguing." The initial troop type of the Polar Bear Country's players is the Ice Dragon, which is definitely the top troop type among the top troop types. Of course, after their evaluation, they found that the gap with Tang Xiaofan of the Dragon Country was too big, and there was no hope of defeating the other party. However, in view of the long-term cooperative relationship between the two sides, the Polar Bear Country is confident that it will maintain its cooperative relationship with the Dragon Country. Everyone should talk calmly. After all, it is not time for them to merge yet. Besides, it is useless for us to quarrel here, and it will not affect their decision making in the God and Demon continent. Chapter 104: The Challenges Facing Dragon Nation. Unfortunately, Tang Xiaofan didn't know at this moment that Lango had encountered unprecedented pressure on Blue Star because of its strength. Even if he knew, he wouldn't mind, because the rule of the God and Demon continent is that the strong is the king. If someone uses the concept of equality and freedom to reason with him, he doesn't mind letting these people understand what the strongest castle lord is. He remembered that, if a player from a country died, if the country did not disappear, new people would be sent. I don't know if the players who died in the Beast Tide this time sent new people behind them. He took a look at the World Chat channel, and found that more and more castle lords could not stand the pressure of the Beast Tide, gave up their identities as castle lords, and changed their jobs to wanderers. Without the castle, they naturally didn't have to resist the Beast Tide. Many wanderers claimed in the World Chat channel that they had escaped, and they were no longer bound by the castle's cushioning force, and gained their freedom, and could decide their own destiny. Under their influence, the number of castle lords who changed their jobs to wanderers increased. The scale of the wanderer group is constantly growing. It seems that there is a momentum to compete with the castle forces. However, are they really free? Not entirely. Tang Xiaofan believes that the hard days of wanderers will come soon. The only thing they have gained is to avoid the beast tide and survive. The real cruel survival has not yet come to them. This cruel and dangerous world will not favor one over the other. The future of wanderers will only be more full of crises and threats of death than that of the lord of the castle. At least, the lord of the castle can recruit soldiers to protect himself, while the wanderer is destined to be alone. Compared with the lord of the castle, the future fate of the wanderer will be destined to be full of disasters. It is difficult for people who only look at the present and do not pay attention to the future to survive in this cruel world. Of course, Tang Xiaofan also expressed his understanding of their choice. After all, many of them really know that they can't resist the beast tide, so they choose to give up the identity of the lord of the castle and change their job to wanderers just to survive. If it were Tang Xiaofan, if he knew that the castle would become a ruin under the invasion of the beast tide, he might also make such a choice. People are always afraid of death. As long as you can survive, what does it matter if the chosen path is more dangerous or cruel? There is hope only when you are alive. I think this is also the mentality of some people who choose to change their jobs to wanderers. Unfortunately, there is no if in life. Everything depends on how your wheel of fate rolls. If Tang Xiaofan had not been accompanied by the system and had not awakened Jarvis when he was teleported to the land of gods and demons, then now he would probably have to follow a group of farmers to put away the heart of the castle, join the army of wanderers, and run away together. However, he has a system and naturally has a different fate compared to others. Feeling a little bit of bad luck, Tang Xiaofan glanced at the trading channel and found that a large number of people were selling food, wood, stone, and even refined iron. And the things they exchanged were all soul stones and equipment. Obviously, these people were wanderers after their job change. Without the castle, they didn't need these materials. They only needed a small amount of food to fill their stomachs. They exchanged soul stones to improve their own strength. Absorbing the energy in soul stones is one of the ways to upgrade levels. For the native creatures of the gods and demons continent, this is the main quick way to practice. There are 3 reasons why the castle lord generally does not use soul stones to practice. First, soul stones are important materials for upgrading arms and buildings. Second, the castle lord himself can use his own arms to kill enemies to obtain energy and achieve the purpose of rapid promotion. Third, the speed of practicing with soul stones is not as fast as killing enemies. Therefore, the castle lord does not like this way of promotion. But now, the wanderers are here. Their demand for soul stones is much higher than that of the castle lord. As for exchanging equipment, this is prepared by the wanderers for killing monsters in the future. After all, without the castle, they have lost the possibility of making their own equipment. If I had known that I would change my job to a wanderer, I should not have upgraded the arms and buildings before. A full 100 soul stones were wasted. I regret it too. I should have kept the soul stones. Which castle lord is willing to sell soul stones? I will buy them at a high price. I will use materials that are 10 times higher than the market price to exchange for soul stones. I beg for soul stones on my knees. In the world chat channel, many wanderers are seeking to buy soul stones. Although wanderers can also obtain energy and upgrade their levels by killing monsters, they are weak after all, and the death of one of their troops will reduce one. So they need to do everything they can to improve their strength. Unfortunately, no castle lord stood up to respond. There are even many castle lords who sneered and secretly mocked these cowardly and timid losers. Yes, in the eyes of some castle lords, those wanderers who are stirring up trouble in the world chat channel are complete losers and are not worthy of being compared with them. The castle lords. Wanderer alliance? Haha, just a loser alliance. When the castle power rises, the local forces of the god and demon continent will be swept away by them. This vast world will be dominated by the castle power. What is a small wanderer alliance? Some castle lords are quite arrogant and look down on the wanderers in the world chat channel. Of course, as for the soul stones, they themselves do not have enough. Blue Star, United Nations Headquarters Conference Hall. Discussions on the invasion of the Gods and Demons continent are still ongoing. Now, everyone is waiting for Dragon Country to make a statement. How will they, the country that is most likely to enjoy all the benefits, deal with such a problem? Dragon Country is also in a difficult situation, you know. Although we have made some achievements in recent years, the difficulties are still great. Listening to Dragon Country's commonplace talk, all countries rolled their eyes. However, they had no choice. What Dragon Country said made sense. Dragon Country has a large population, and even more poor people. Although there are now a few more minerals, forests, and stone resources, it is still a drop in the bucket. However, Dragon Country is a responsible big country, and will not watch the people of other countries suffer. My Dragon Country can provide assistance to countries in need. You know, Dragon Country's products are very affordable, and can be purchased with loans. Hearing these words, the countries that suffered 1,000 times the punishment nodded. Dragon Country is indeed responsible. It is much better than Ugly Country. Ugly Country is now in the name of the boss, but it is stingy, and will only lead everyone to oppress Dragon Country. However, we have seen that after the players from many countries were killed, new players were selected. So, can we pass some news to the continent of gods and demons through these new players? In this way, can we achieve common development and common prosperity? Chapter 105, Generous Post-War Profits. The food and equipment that were put on the shelves before, the food was intact, but the equipment was snatched away. The auction of the defensive building blueprint Arrow Tower has also ended, and a total of 308 soul stones have been obtained. A low-level defensive building blueprint was exchanged for more than 300 soul stones, which is very profitable. If it weren't for the low explosion rate of the blueprint, it would not have been auctioned at such a high price. Moreover, the beast tide is coming soon. Not to mention the wanderers who gave up their status as castle lords. Even the remaining castle lords are basically wealthy, and the arrow towers that enhance defense are a good choice. After all, no one can predict the extent of the beast tide. A little more defense is a little more. When it comes to life and death, no one will hold back. It can be said that Tang Xiaofan arrived at a good time. The number of soul stones I have in reserve has reached 2,700. Wait for the second group of warriors to bring back the spoils. My soulstone reserve may directly exceed 4,000. This is a very large number. Tang Xiaofan believes that no castle lord has a soulstone reserve that can catch up with him. He is definitely the richest castle lord. There is no doubt about it. Tang Xiaofan scanned the trading channel again and found that many wanderers had increased the materials they exchanged for soul stones to 20 to 30 times the previous amount, which led to a few castle lords exchanging for materials. The castle lords who exchanged for materials should be eager to upgrade the castle and increase the level of the castle. So in this case, they chose to use soul stones to purchase a large amount of materials at a low price. However, there were not many people who exchanged for materials. Soul stones, which can upgrade military buildings, have always been in short supply. Only Tang Xiaofan relied on the Arrow Tower blueprint to exchange for some soul stones. Other things, even equipment, are difficult to get soul stones from the hands of the castle lord. The castle lord holds precious materials such as soul stones tightly. Tang Xiaofan did not exchange for materials. Not to mention the exchange price of 30 times. Even the exchange price of 50 times would not attract him. His black technology town is currently a low-level town. If he wants to upgrade to a mid-level town, he needs 500,000 units of wood, 300,000 units of stone, and 100,000 units of refined iron. Even if he used all the soul stones to purchase wood, stone and other materials at a low price, it would still be far from meeting the castle's upgrade needs. On the contrary, it would delay the upgrade of the military buildings and the farmer's factory, which would not be worth the loss. Tang Xiaofan turned off the trading channel. At this time, the second group of warriors came back. Xana took the lead and saluted Tang Xiaofan. "Greetings, Lord, I'm fortunate to have fulfilled my mission." The warriors saluted Tang Xiaofan under the leadership of Xana. Well, Tang Xiaofan nodded slightly, and the light swept through the soldiers, and all the members returned. it can be seen that the strength of the second group of warriors is already very strong. Even if the fire dragon attacks, there is no need to worry about insufficient manpower. Now, the Black Technology Town has established its foothold in the forest and is not afraid of attacks from ordinary local forces. Later, when the protective shield is set up, the Black Technology Town will be safer. At this time, a figure suddenly flew across the sky. The soldiers all picked up their weapons alertly and surrounded Tang Xiaofan. It doesn't matter, Zhang Yi is getting used to the armor. In the sky, Zhang Yi, wearing the armor equipped with the arc reactor, circled quickly in the air, rotated, and did a beautiful mid-air flip. He fired two shining beams of light from his hands, which hit the dense forest outside the city from a distance, and exploded a huge air wave. Because after the arc reactor was made, there was still a lack of sufficient experimental data, and these data involved the output of power, the power of weapons, and a series of arrangements such as flight, balance, defense, and survival. It was equivalent to upgrading the hardware, but Jarvis, as the operating system, needed to adapt to the strong energy again. Therefore, now let Zhang Yi drive the armor and conduct extreme tests continuously to ensure that the operating system can be improved as much as possible before it is installed. Zhang Yi was very happy after putting on the new armor. He felt the most intuitively that he could fly. After a little panic at the beginning, as a level 20 warrior, his strong physical fitness allowed him to quickly master the skills of flying. The ultra high-speed flight ability, as well as the powerful defense and power increase, made the Mark armor a real god of killing. Tang Xiaofan waved his hand, and Zhang Yi flew down from the sky, stood on the ground, and saluted Tang Xiaofan. "Meet the Lord." "Okay, tell me, how is it?" Zhang Yi and the others just came back. Zhang Yi took off his mask and said excitedly, "Powerful, too powerful, Lord, this is your miracle." Yes, the farmers were summoned, and their cognitive ability was limited to ancient times. Although they had no problem adapting to the Mark armor given by Tang Xiaofan with the help of Jarvis, but if they want to understand it, it would exceed their current cognitive ability. After all, the farmers' education level is still elementary school. So, they naturally understood this as Tang Xiaofan's miracle. Tang Xiaofan didn't say it. It was useless for you to explain to them at this time, and the armor was controlled by Jarvis's system. Anyone who wanted to exert the power of the armor must activate it through Jarvis. Thinking of this, he smiled and said, "Okay. Zhang Yi should experience it first, then summarize the experience as soon as possible, and take the lead." "Yes, my lord." Zhang Yi looked at his old boss enviously and flew into the sky again, handing the spoils to Tang Xiaofan. It was a set of armor, a lot of soul stones, and a blueprint. As expected by Tang Xiaofan, the number of soul stones harvested this time exceeded 1,000, reaching 1,453. The armor came from the Lizardman Chief. Lizardman Chief's armor, damaged, grade, super, effect 1, greatly increase your own defense. It contains the breath of the Lizardman Chief, which has a certain deterrent effect on ordinary lizardmen. Special reminder, if non-lizardman soldiers equip it, it will increase the hatred value of the Lizardman clan, and there is a high probability that they will encounter active attacks from lizardmen. Super defense armor. It's a pity that it's damaged, and I can't wear it. Tang Xiaofan thought for a moment. He directly put the Lizardman Chieftain's armor on the trading channel for a 3-hour auction, and set a price of 500 soul stones. Of course, he was not afraid of the hatred of the Lizardman, but because the armor was too big, it was impossible to wear it without a body of about 5 meters. Moreover, it was just a damaged super quality equipment, and he didn't care about it. Putting it on the trading area for auction can realize its only value. As for why he set a price, the reason is also very simple. There are less than 5 minutes before the beast tide hits. After the 3-hour auction time limit, the beast tide activity may have ended. The Lizardman Chieftain's armor is bound to not sell at a high price. The appearance of a price can help some castle lords who really want to get this super quality equipment to make a final decision and really take the bid. Chapter 106, Obtaining the Blueprints of the Heavy Machinery Factory. The appearance of this super quality Lizardman Chieftain's armor naturally caused a stir in the world chat channel. Many castle lords and wanderers were discussing what kind of battle could cause this super quality armor to be damaged. The Lizardman Chieftain is definitely a level 18 existence. Tang Xiaofan is too strong. Seeing the beast tide coming, he still has the mind to attack the Lizardman tribe. He is simply invincible. Tang Xiaofan's troops are demons. How can they not be strong? Compared to demons, Lizardmen, a medium intelligent creature in the god and demon continent, are nothing. The price of 500 energy stones, Tang Xiaofan is really determined to go the way of profiteers to the end. After all, it is super quality equipment. If you find a senior blacksmith to make it into magic equipment, it will be super worth it. I just don't know if anyone has bought it. At present, it can be said to be a sky-high price. Who cares? I can't afford it anyway. Tang Xiaofan did not pay attention to the lively world chat channel. His eyes were fixed on the last azure blue drawing in his hand. I found an unknown blueprint. Do you want to identify it? Yes. No. Tang Xiaofan naturally chose yes. Suddenly, a dazzling light of identification appeared out of thin air and enveloped the blueprint. After a while, the light of identification dissipated, and the blueprint revealed its original appearance. Heavy factory, level, rare, description, use it, you will get a factory that can produce land machinery and equipment, special blueprints. Good luck. Looking at the information of the blueprint, Tang Xiaofan was stunned again. Unexpectedly, in addition to the blueprints for the evolution of arms, special blueprints also have architectural blueprints. This is really an unexpected surprise. Land machinery and equipment. This means that it can produce machinery such as cars and tanks used on land. My luck is simply too good to be true. When it comes to luck, Tang Xiaofan can't help but think of the little Lalita in the underground world. When it comes to luck, even Tang Xiaofan has to bow down in front of the little Lalita and feel ashamed. However, Tang Xiaofan felt that his luck was definitely better than the little Lalita this time. The main reason is that the initial soldiers of the little Lali are the Black Iron Dwarfs, which are low-level soldiers. Compared with Tang Xiaofan's farmers, the cost performance of the Black Iron Dwarves is too low. Tang Xiaofan found that the farmers are not high in level and the upper limit is not high, but as a replica of humans, farmers are the main soldiers of the gods and demons continent. Because, in addition to strength and combat effectiveness, humans also have wisdom. Humans will use tools to amplify their abilities. For example, Mark armor, such as weapons. It is this heavy factory blueprint, and the mechanical equipment produced, are all tools for humans to amplify their abilities. The gods and demons continent must have magical level of technology, but now, only the tip of the iceberg has been revealed. So Tang Xiaofan chose to use it himself. Do you want to use a heavy factory blueprint? Yes. Tang Xiaofan muttered in his heart. Instantly spread into a rich golden light. Then, a huge factory, a steel factory, appeared in front of Tang Xiaofan. After summoning several senior farmers, 200 farmers were filled in the factory to fill all the positions inside. After these farmers went in, they all changed into blue work clothes, wore yellow safety helmets, and moved quickly and in large numbers. It's Rick. This time I'm really rich. Tang Xiaofan's face showed great joy because the prompt information of the heavy factory showed that this factory can manufacture 3 types of vehicles. A light armored truck named Vulture, equipped with a heavy machine gun, can be used to transport supplies and combat supplies. For Tang Xiaofan, this is the best transport vehicle. Now there is no need for farmers to use carts between the resource point and the castle. The second type is a heavy tank. The huge tracks can ensure that the tank can adapt to various terrains, and the thick muzzle should be able to provide sufficient firepower coverage. The steel brackets on both sides of the vehicle body show that the huge artillery is powerful and needs brackets to ensure shooting accuracy. The third vehicle is a giant battlefield quadruped robot, with giant feet up to more than 10 meters high, supporting a huge weapon platform. The overall vehicle model is spindle-shaped, with countless gun barrels and missiles exposed on it. Unfortunately, only light armored transport vehicles can be produced at present, and the latter 2 vehicles need to be upgraded to the castle level before they can be opened. This is also very good, isn't it, Jarvis? Yes, sir. This means that there are still blueprints of this kind of machinery factory. So are there any factories for aerial machinery? Or space machinery factories? Sir, this world should have had a highly developed technological civilization. Yes, this is interesting and worth exploring. Therefore, the factory blueprints are of great significance to Tang Xiaofan. Without hesitation, Tang Xiaofan immediately sent a purchase message to the world chat channel. Buy all kinds of factory blueprints vigorously. Add friends. Serious buyers only. Sooner or later, this kind of blueprint will be exposed. The top castle lords will immediately discover its value and then buy it at a high price. Tang Xiaofan can't wait for others to come to him automatically. That's unrealistic and the probability is not high. It's better to strike first and try to get it first with his unparalleled popularity and influence. At the same time, Tang Xiaofan directly disclosed the troops of his own castle, confirming the secret that his troops are demons, just to increase the shock value. It comes down to the core element. Selling his blueprints will make you a friend and you won't lose. The world chat channel was boiling instantly. Previously, all the castle lords were speculating on the origin of the forest demon. It is also believed that there is a high probability that the demons that appear in the forest are Tang Xiaofan's troops. Some top castle lords even firmly believe this. So they formed an alliance to fight against Tang Xiaofan's demon army in the future castle battle. However, speculation is just speculation after all. Even if the probability is as high as 90%, there are still factors that cannot be determined before the truth is truly revealed. Now, Tang Xiaofan took the initiative to provide confirmation, and he can add friends. This defines the demon of the forest. Black Technology Castle? Sure enough, my guess was right. Tang Xiaofan's army is the demon. Oh my god. There really is such a military type as the demon. Legendary creatures, can they be comparable to the holy angels in terms of grade? Once the demon army comes out, who will compete? This is definitely the hottest hotspot of this era. Tang Xiaofan named his castle the Black Technology Castle, and it is obvious that he has never thought of hiding the secrets of the demon. But even if he wants to hide it, he can't. Once the castle battle starts, Tang Xiaofan's demon will be exposed immediately. I'm a little worried about those top castle masters now. Exclamation mark. Chapter 107 Internal Discussions of the Holy Alliance. Top level troops are nothing in front of demons. Powerful demons are enough to beat dragons. Demons must have been weakened. It is impossible that they are at least demigods like in novels. Otherwise, Tang Xiaofan would have ruled the forest by now. There are also strong and weak top level troops. I guess demons should be the strongest among the top level troops. This is why Tang Xiaofan can lead all the way. Agree +1. However, all the castle lords did not know that Tang Xiaofan's demons were not top level troops. They were ordinary farmers. The lowest level farmers. Farmers who can be easily killed by a monster. Farmers who must rely on collective strength to survive. Farmers who need to consume a lot of food to survive in the early stage. Of course, these farmers have huge potential. After equipping them with mark armor, they become demons in the mouths of others. Demons have surpassed the category of top level soldiers. By the way, what are factory drawings used for? There are such drawings. Idiot above. As the name suggests, they must be drawings that can build factories. This kind of drawings are nothing special to an ordinary castle lord, but to a top level castle lord like Tang Xiaofan, they are more precious than soul stones. Go straight to the core. No wonder even a big shot like Tang Xiaofan has publicly appeared to acquire such drawings. It would be great if I could reveal such drawings. Has anyone added Tang Xiaofan as a friend? It seems that even Bear Grylls hasn't added him. It's harder than conquering a goddess. A blueprint in exchange for Tang Xiaofan's friend status is definitely a good deal. The value of Tang Xiaofan's friends is higher than that of top level castle lords. There are hundreds of castle lords, and there are at least 80 top level castle lords, but Tang Xiaofan's friends can be counted on one hand. Once you become Tang Xiaofan's friend, it will definitely be of great help in the future. I will expose the factory blueprints even if I die. I just want to ask Tang Xiaofan, when you get up in the morning, do you brush your teeth or go to the toilet first? The taste of the girls upstairs is simply unbeatable. The topic of Tang Xiaofan in the world chat channel quickly fermented, and from the original normal topic, it quickly turned into all kinds of gossip and speculation, and the heat was extremely high. It completely overwhelmed the upcoming beast tide. As for many alliance groups, they were hotly discussing Tang Xiaofan and his demons, as well as the factory blueprints. In the Alliance of Gods, the number of top castle lords in the group has exceeded 30. It can be said to be the strongest and top force in the circle of castle lords. Breaking news. Tang Xiaofan has appeared publicly and confirmed that his army is a demon. The world chat channel has gone crazy. Do you think we are blind? This is not good news for us. It doesn't matter. It's just a military unit. The original purpose of our Alliance of Gods was to suppress Tang Xiaofan. Isn't it just right now? With more than 30 of our top castle lords joining forces, not to mention that Tang Xiaofan's army is a demon, even the gods have to stand aside. In the future, the scale of our Alliance of Gods will become larger and larger, and its power will become stronger and stronger. Tang Xiaofan's black technology castle is nothing to worry about. If Tang Xiaofan is sensible and low-key, it will be fine. If he offends our Alliance of Gods, his black technology castle will be overthrown sooner or later. The castle lords of the Alliance of Gods are quite confident, because they have more than 30 allies, and all of them are castle lords with top-level military units. No matter how strong Tang Xiaofan's black technology castle is, can it be stronger than so many top-level castle lords joining forces? With this understanding, many castle lords did not take Tang Xiaofan seriously. Of course, this is also a very normal thing. No castle lord would think that Tang Xiaofan could fight against the Alliance of Gods alone. The core purpose of the Alliance of Gods is no longer to simply suppress Tang Xiaofan. Instead, it is transforming towards conquering the world and sweeping across the continent of gods and demons. This is a change brought about by overflowing self-confidence. By the way, has anyone got the factory blueprints? This stuff is extremely precious to Tang Xiaofan. I haven't seen it. During the castle defense battle, I did get 2 blueprints, but they were both architectural blueprints. Factory blueprints are obviously special blueprints, and are difficult to get. It seems that only Tang Xiaofan can get this kind of blueprints. From the super grade armor of the Lizardman Chieftain, it can be inferred that the Lizardman Chieftain is also a strong man among the 18 levels, and his tribe is definitely very strong. To be able to capture such a tribe, how strong must Tang Xiaofan's black technology castle be? But Tang Xiaofan is just a castle lord. That's right. Our Alliance of Gods is absolutely invincible. I have already purchased factory blueprints at a high price. I can't let Tang Xiaofan monopolize all the good things. Great minds think alike. I really don't know what Tang Xiaofan was thinking. He actually exposed this kind of blueprint. It would be good if he knew it alone. Smart. How to acquire this kind of blueprint? If you want to acquire it publicly, you naturally have to expose it. Tang Xiaofan relies on his popularity among the castle forces. We have to admit that no castle lord is more famous than him. Even if all of us put together, we are not as famous as him. This is his advantage. If someone really leaks this kind of blueprint, the first thing they will think of is to sell it to Tang Xiaofan. Now, there will be hundreds of castle lords who want to add Tang Xiaofan as a friend. As soon as these words came out, there was a brief silence in the group of the Gods Alliance. Not only others. If these top castle lords could add Tang Xiaofan as a friend, they would definitely be very happy. It's just that they didn't say it. This is the attraction of the strong standing at the top, which cannot be ignored. What is Bear Grylls doing? Calling the great god. Why don't you speak today? Wait for the beast tide. Kerami Prairie. Bear Grylls stood on the top balcony of the castle's ancient giant bear castle. In the yard, dozens of majestic ancient giant bears gathered, lying, standing, or lying. He was browsing the lively world chat channel and the internal chat of the Gods Alliance. He frowned, thinking, factory blueprint? Of course, this kind of blueprint is not that important to him. But, what he thought, was that if he was lucky enough to get this kind of blueprint, he would give it to Tang Xiaofan in exchange for a friend. From the time he came to the world, he didn't know how many times he had been rejected by Tang Xiaofan. Every friend request was rejected. This almost made him a little crazy, and he would not stop until he added Tang Xiaofan as his friend. As for what to do, after adding Tang Xiaofan as his friend, he no longer considered it. He just wanted to use this method to calm the resentment in his heart. Chapter 108. The beast tide is finally coming. He wanted to prove himself even more. There was nothing that Bear Grylls couldn't get. I don't know how long it took. A low roar from the bottom of the yard woke Bear Grylls up. He looked up into the distance, and a black line seemed to appear at the end of the grassland. He was stunned for a moment, and then he realized that it was the beast tide. The beast tide is coming. Prepare for battle. Protect the castle of the ancient giant bears. Roar. Dozens of ancient giant bears that were as big as wild beasts gathered and protected Bear Grylls' castle in the center. A pair of bear eyes as big as copper bells looked coldly at the beast tide rushing from afar. Tang Xiaofan's real body appeared, proving that his army is a demon, and his castle is a black tech castle. What's the relationship between demons and black tech castles? Obviously, Tang Xiaofan's black tech castle is in the forest. It's not far from some of our castle lords, so we have to be careful. It's still the early stages of the game, and it's hard for our alliance members to help each other. Once Tang Xiaofan finds us, he can destroy our castles one by one. Then what should we do? The members of the Anti-Demon Alliance were very worried. The key is that no one knows where Tang Xiaofan's black tech castle is, and their alliance members are scattered throughout the forest and can't gather together in a short time. Judging from the combat effectiveness of the black tech castle, a single alliance member, even a top castle lord, will not be a match for Tang Xiaofan's demons. If a castle battle is started, it will definitely not be Tang Xiaofan's opponent. Don't worry. Wait until the beast tide is over. We should always prepare for a rainy day. There is a way, and it's very simple. Once the beast tide is over, immediately send troops to search the surrounding dense forests. If you find traces of demons, it means that Tang Xiaofan's castle is nearby. Knowing that you can't win, move away from the castle. Leave that area. Escape. Not escape, a strategic retreat. We also need to encourage the lords of other castles in the forest to search for the location of the Black Technology Castle. As long as the location of the Black Technology Castle is marked, the next thing will be easy. Tang Xiaofan is in the light, we are in the dark. It is not impossible to knock down the demon castle. Then it's decided. After the beast tide is over, the alliance members will step up contact with the lords of other castles in the forest, gather the power of the masses, and find the Black Technology Castle. Mark the location of the Black Technology Castle, and we can gather our strength to destroy it in one fell swoop. Once the Black Technology Castle is destroyed, the forest will belong to our anti-demon alliance. Understood. At this moment, the forest was shaken. Immediately, an alliance member sent a message. The beast tide is coming. My goal is the only reward of the beast tide event. I'm not that greedy. I just want to get one of the 100 reward places. The one who has the greatest chance of getting the only reward now is Tang Xiaofan. So what if Tang Xiaofan gets the only reward? Sooner or later, he will be eliminated by our anti-demon alliance. Everything he has now will belong to our alliance in the future. That's right. Okay, we'll discuss Tang Xiaofan's matter after the beast tide event is over. Now, it's important to resist the beast tide. I wish you all can get the reward. Haha. Wish you all the same. Black Technology Castle. After uploading the information about the acquisition of the factory drawings, Tang Xiaofan no longer paid attention to the world chat channel. His eyes were fixed on the rumbling factory in front of him, and the first light armored truck was about to come out of it. The other soldiers and farmers were all preparing for battle on the city wall in an orderly manner, ready to deal with the beast tide at any time. It must be said that this blueprint made him too much money. At the same time, it can be seen that the factory built with the factory blueprint is an arsenal, and it is an extremely powerful arsenal. A fully automatic arsenal that can directly convert or into combat vehicles. Therefore, even if someone offered a sky-high price of thousands of soul stones for the factory blueprint, he would not hesitate to buy it. A huge light armored truck was pushed out of the workshop. It's a big profit. Tang Xiaofan took a deep breath. Although the arc reactor is being replicated at a high speed now, the Mark armor should be equipped after the beast tide ends. but those are military supplies. There are no suitable tools for civilian use, especially for farmers. Now with this light armored vehicle, you can rest assured. After checking the information of this light armored truck, Tang Xiaofan was even more delighted. The cargo capacity of this truck seems to be very large. Not only can it transport stones, ores and wood, but it can also be used as a road opener. The huge tires and wide steel body can definitely directly overwhelm trees in the forest, open roads, and firmly bind the black technology castle with its subordinate resource points and colonies. This also makes Tang Xiaofan absolutely confident, allowing himself to completely occupy the forest in front of him. Occupation is not about driving away the enemy, but about having enough means to seize all the resources in the occupied area and squeeze them continuously. In the past, we had strong military force, but without sufficient transportation capacity, and we could not convert the occupied area into resources. But now it is different. After the beast tide is over, we can start to actively expand outward. Of course, the top priority now is to compete for the only reward in the beast tide event, and we cannot afford to lose it. You lose the super equipment lizardman chief armor, damaged, and get 500 soul stones. Tang Xiaofan exclaimed lightly. Unexpectedly, there was actually a castle lord who bought the super equipment at a fixed price. And for super equipment, this price is also quite high, especially for super equipment without any damage. But unexpectedly, someone actually chose to join the trap. Although I don't know who it is, he must want to use this super equipment to compete for the reward in the beast tide event. As long as he gets the reward, the investment in this equipment will definitely not be a loss. Tang Xiaofan quickly grasped the inner thoughts of the bidder. After all, if it weren't for the beast tide event rewards, no one would rush to buy the damaged lizardman chief armor at a fixed price. He's also a ruthless person. Tang Xiaofan couldn't help but admire. According to my current soulstone reserves, it's not far from upgrading the farmer factory to level 4. I currently have 4,153 soulstones accumulated before, and 500 soulstones obtained from the equipment auction, a total of 4,653 soulstones. The next upgrade of the military building farmer factory requires 5,000 soulstones, and Tang Xiaofan is looking forward to it. After the beast tide is over, I should be able to collect enough soulstones. Then he looked up at the dense forest outside the black technology castle. At this time, the dense forest was shaking, and the roars of the monsters became more and more frequent and louder. As if sensing something, he opened the world chat channel, and the world announcement has been updated. The beast tide is coming in full force, and the combat power scoreboard is open. Almost at the same time, a rumbling sound like an earthquake sounded. Dense swarms of wild monsters emerged from the dense forest and charged towards Tang Xiaofan's black technology castle. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 109 Monsters begin attacking the city. World chat channel. The beast tide is finally here. There are at least thousands of them. My castle is surrounded by the beast tide. But I'm not worried at all. I have walls, arrow towers, and top level soldiers. The beast tide will never destroy my castle. My castle is finished. I greatly underestimated the horror of the beast tide. In the face of this beast tide, the castle guard battle in the early morning is nothing. With the coming of the beast tide, I'm afraid that more castle lords will be eliminated, and those who survive are elites. Haha. Fortunately, I was prepared and gave up my identity as the castle lord in advance. I changed my job to a wanderer. Now where I am, there is no trace of wild monsters at all. Escaped. Wanderers, get out. This is the era of the castle lord. Haha, so what if you are the castle lord? Our wanderer alliance will become more and more powerful. Not only the local forces, but also the castle forces will be swept away. Haha, the loser dares to clamor? Only those who make it to the end are the ultimate winners. The Wanderer Alliance will become a paradise for the gods of freedom. The Wanderers are finally rootless duckweed, and our castle forces are the masters of the god and demon continent. Who knows about the future? The beast tide is coming, but it is not the only topic. Instead, the castle lord and the wanderers quarreled in the world chat channel. Obviously, the opposing factions have emerged. I'm afraid that sooner or later, the wanderers may also attack the castle. This is not impossible. Tang Xiaofan did not pay attention to the chaotic world chat channel. Because the beast tide has approached his black technology castle, Warrior Regiment 1, Warrior Regiment 2, listen to the order. Clear all wild animals and monsters approaching the castle. Use the wall as a defense baseline to resist the attack of the beast tide. Yes, Lord. Damn. The machine guns on the wall opened fire. In an instant, countless ammunition poured down, tearing the monsters in the front into pieces. The beast tide was like a big wave, smashed to pieces by the reefs, composed of steel bullets. But the waves showed no signs of stopping, and the soldiers had already taken positions around the castle. They were on the walls, holding machine guns, and together they fired at the beast tides that were gathering from all directions. Under the walls, all kinds of wild monsters were roaring and rushing like crazy. There were wild monsters running in front, and after being knocked down by machine guns, the wild monsters behind did not stop at all. They continued to charge forward, and in the blink of an eye, they trampled the fallen wild monsters into blood source. There were huge wild monsters, charging with their heads down, not caring whether there were companions in front of them, and anyone who blocked the way was directly knocked away by them. It was too violent. The roars and roars came one after another. In addition to the wild monsters on the land, there were also bad monsters gathering in the sky in this beast tide. They were faster and more violent. It was like a fighter plane swooping down towards the black technology castle. It was so terrifying. The figures of wild monsters could be seen in all directions of the black technology castle, even in the sky. I'm afraid that only the underground is silent. This is the beast tide. In the castle yard, Tang Xiaofan was wearing Mark armor, with a huge double-edged battle axe and a huge sniper cannon beside him, and there were 100 soldiers standing beside him. As the lord of the castle, he was not too cautious. The only good news was that the blood moon had not arrived yet, and the wild monsters were just affected by some mysterious power, and lost their minds, became manic, and extremely aggressive. But the strength of the wild monsters did not increase 3 times as it did at night. This was good news for all the lords of the castle. At this time, the strange birds of prey in the sky targeted Tang Xiaofan. They flapped their huge wings and swooped down. They passed over the birds of prey near the castle in the air. In just 2 seconds, several strange birds of prey swooped down. They opened their sharp blades and grabbed Tang Xiaofan on the top of the highest building, trying to tear Tang Xiaofan into pieces, looking for death. Tang Xiaofan sat on the chair, motionless, not even looking at the bird monsters attacking him, because others were ready for battle. A silver light flashed, mixed with a ray of red light, and the Mark II armor equipped with the arc reactor showed its hideous face. Zhang Yi drove the Mark II armor, holding the red sword given to him by Tang Xiaofan. Puff. In an instant, blood suddenly burst out from the bodies of several birds of prey. Before Tang Xiaofan made a move, these bird monsters were killed. Their bodies fell from midair and hit the ground, splashing blood. Haha, this kid. Tang Xiaofan laughed. Zhang Yi did not stop, and continued to attack himself, turning into a silver line, holding a sharp blade, and ruthlessly slashing at various monsters and birds of prey in the sky. Fast speed, indestructible weapons, the combination of these two is extremely lethal. The monster raptors in the sky were in trouble. They found that they were the targets of siege, and they were besieged by one person. Screaming, blood, and fragmented wings kept falling from the sky, and falling into the herd, causing countless monsters on the ground to scramble. Zhang Yi cleared the sky, fell from the sky, knelt in front of Tang Xiaofan, and said to Tang Xiaofan respectfully, "As your warrior, killing is my duty. Please hand over the monsters that invaded the castle to me, and I will bring victory to the Black Technology Castle." This is a request for Tang Xiaofan to rest, and not to participate in the battle in person. Tang Xiaofan smiled and said, "Such a big thing, as the lord of the castle, your lord cannot stay out of it. Zhang Yi, don't worry about my safety, no monster can hurt me." His words were not arrogant at all. His current Mark armor also prepared the arc reactor. At this moment, even if he faced the fire dragon alone, it was no surprise that he easily killed it. However, only 2 reactors have been completed, and the others are still being produced in the blacksmith shop. After all, the production environment requirements of the new element are relatively strict, and there is no way to leave the blacksmith shop for production. The blacksmith shop has magical powers. As long as the drawings are correct and the raw materials are sufficient, any kind of items can be produced. The old blacksmiths of Nanyi are like god craftsmen in the blacksmith shop, but it is extremely difficult for them to come out to forge. There is no way. The metal ring composed of the most critical new element of the arc reactor can only be made in the blacksmith shop. So the progress is not very fast, but not slow. After today, 1000 flying mark armors will be installed. Now, Zanyi can only play enough. However, Tang Xiaofan's words gave Zanyi enough comfort. Zanyi is not good at speaking. After respectfully saluting Tang Xiaofan, he slapped the red sword and turned into a silver light and rushed into the sky. The Lord said, "Killing is salvation. Death is eternal life. Go to hell. Monsters." Chapter 110. Battle in the Beasttide. The bird monsters hovering in the sky instantly turned into corpses and fell from the sky. Every time the silver light flashed, a bird monster would be killed instantly. Zanyi's movements were like a phantom, and it was really as beautiful as dancing a dance of death in the void, and it gave people a sense of horror. So strong. This is the arc reactor. Tang Xiaofan couldn't help but exclaimed. Professional warriors are professional killers. And professional warriors who have been through many battles and are experienced are professional harvesters of life. Facing Zanyi, who was wearing Mark II armor and equipped with an arc reactor, the monsters were like frogs encountering a sports car. They were not opponents of the same level at all and were completely crushed across dimensions. The bird monsters couldn't even catch up with Zanyi's shadow and lost their lives. The combat skills and techniques that Zanyi mastered were completely for killing. In just a short moment, Zanyi had slaughtered dozens of bad monsters, including even level 14 and 16 commander level monsters. The strength displayed by Zanyi was so strong that Tang Xiaofan was stunned. Another one. A lone bird monster avoided Zanyi's interception and dived down. It's you. Tang Xiaofan didn't take a level 12 elite monster seriously. He tightly grasped the double-edged giant axe in his hand and felt that he could kill this elite bird monster with one axe. This was the confidence in the arc reactor and mark armor. This is mine. Seeing the bird monster getting closer and closer, Tang Xiaofan immediately prepared to take action and at the same time shouted, asking Zanyi not to snatch the monster. The monster had already flown close, and at this moment, the bird monster several meters long suddenly exploded. The broken limbs and blood rain fell from the sky. However, before it fell on Tang Xiaofan, it was purified by a dazzling light. Tang Xiaofan looked up and saw Zanyi. Worried that the blood rain would pollute his body, he deliberately used high-speed movement and palm cannon to purify it. After killing the bird monster in seconds, Zanyi continued to clear the bird monsters flying in the sky. Soon, the second wave of bad monsters that attacked the castle were killed by him. Only Tang Xiaofan was in a mess in the wind. His monsters were all taken away. Now the slightly stronger monsters, the monsters that could break through the rain of bullets, were all frantically snatched by the soldiers. Here, there is no humility and politeness. The desire for victory and the pursuit of honor make them compete in an orderly manner. Even in the end, Zanyi not only killed all the bird monsters in the sky, but also used his high-speed movement to kill monsters in the periphery. When will my first drop of blood come? Tang Xiaofan stood alone on the roof of the castle, holding a sturdy double-edged battle axe, and there was a circle of soldiers protecting him. He was really embarrassed. As for the outer wall of the castle, there were a lot of monsters. But Tang Xiaofan would not be so stupid as to run out, just for the first drop of blood. That would be fatal. At this moment, all the soldiers of the Black Technology Castle were dispatched, and they stood on the wall. They used machine guns to attack the beast tied close to the wall from a distance. Less than half an hour after the battle, hundreds of wild monsters were killed. Looking around, the walls were full of monster corpses. The blood had already soaked the mud into dark red. Fortunately, the bullets were so dense that they became a death barrage. Fortunately, the M429 machine gun that Jarvis took out was a version with unlimited ammunition, so the several meter high wall was spared from the fate of being sprayed with red paint. In the entire black technology castle, only Tang Xiaofan had nothing to do. Tang Xiaofan couldn't kill the monsters, and the 100 soldiers were like wolves, looking for fish that slipped through the net in the sky. There was also a group of goblins and several militiamen from the destroyed Sweet Potato Castle who had nothing to do. Because of the beast tide, they were placed in places that could only be seen between the inner and outer cities. Of course, it is impossible to live in the city. Tang Xiaofan has made it clear. So for the past 2 days, they have lived on the walls outside the city at night, and entered the city for refuge during the day. Elder, can we always live in the holy city? A little goblin looked at the goblin elder beside him, completely ignoring the deafening sound of the beast tide outside the city. He stared at the farmers who were preparing meals in the cafeteria with envy in his eyes. Child, the holy city can only be inhabited by the Lord and the messenger of God. Then why doesn't the tribe have such delicious food as in the holy city? Why doesn't the tribe have so many clothes? In the holy city, you can get a haircut, take a bath, watch a play, and I heard there are libraries, study rooms, and hospitals. Holy city, this is heaven, right? Yes, the days in the tribe are completely different from those in the high-tech castle. Unfortunately, God is still full of contempt for us believers. The old goblin turned his head and did not answer the little goblin's question. He awkwardly pretended to listen to the battle situation and stopped talking. The battle was still fierce, mainly because the monsters charged fearlessly. As for rushing into the city, Tang Xiaofan had never worried about this problem. His farmer loyalty has always been constant at 100 points. They are die-hard and fanatical in their beliefs. The loyalty of the goblins and militia who surrendered also exceeded 90 points due to the bonus of various buildings and beliefs, and there is no possibility of defection. However, Tang Xiaofan did not trust them at all. Those who are not of my kind must have different hearts. Tang Xiaofan's mouth twitched slightly. There is no doubt about this. He is not short of manpower. He keeps these goblins now, just to have someone to do the rough work. However, as the lord of the castle and an 8th level strongman, he has nothing to do in the beast tide. I have to say that this is very embarrassing. Of course, this also highlights the strength of his warrior team. Up to now, no wild monster has been able to get close to the wall and kill into his castle. Even the bird monsters hovering in the sky have been focused on by Yi and killed cleanly at the first time. Tang Xiaofan also found that the warriors in the battle would emit golden light from time to time, which was a sign of promotion. Especially the warriors who had been on missions not long ago. They were the first to be promoted during the battle. Their initial level was not high, and the corresponding experience required for promotion was not much. Hundreds of wild monsters of various levels were killed, and the experience gained was enough for them to be promoted to a high level. If nothing unexpected happens, I can also be promoted to level 9 in this beast tide event. Tang Xiaofan was looking forward to it. A level 9 life form is already considered a strong one. Among the local forces of the god and demon continent, it is also a small elite level existence, qualified to become the chief of a small tribe. If it is level 18, it will be even stronger. Tang Xiaofan estimated that in this beast tide battle, Yi should be able to reach level 20, and Zeno was already level 20 before the battle. I wonder if Zeno can be promoted to level 21 in this beast tide. Chapter 111. The only reward is destined to be mine. The only thing that made Tang Xiaofan uncomfortable was that he couldn't kill any monsters now. All of them were snatched away by his soldiers. Even if there were lone bird monsters attacking, they would be killed by the soldiers at the first time. The soldiers didn't give the bird monsters a chance to get close to them. Tang Xiaofan was not a person who liked fighting, nor was he good at fighting. But it was still a bit uncomfortable to not be able to snatch a small monster. After all, he had made sufficient preparations and even equipped the arc reactor. If he didn't participate in the battle and didn't kill some small monsters to sacrifice the double-edged battle axe in his hand, wouldn't his previous preparations be meaningless? Tang Xiaofan felt that he had to do something, so he shouted, "Yi, let another monster down, let me deal with it." "Yes, my lord." Zhang Yi flew high into the sky, grabbed a bird that seemed to be just passing by, knocked it out with 2 punches, and dragged its wings to Tang Xiaofan. Tang Xiaofan looked at the bird that was knocked unconscious in front of him, and he didn't know whether to kill it or not. Finally, he sighed. He chopped it down with an axe, sending it to the west. Zhang Yi blinked his eyes, looked at Tang Xiaofan with reverence, and asked with a slightly hoarse voice, "Lord, do you need Zhang Yi to catch monsters again?" "Not for now." Tang Xiaofan waved his hand. "Go and help other warriors resist the beast tide." "Yes, Lord." Zhang Yi saluted respectfully. Then his figure flashed and disappeared as a ray of grey light. Tang Xiaofan felt quite bored. He opened the world chat channel. With the arrival of the beast tide, the popularity of the world chat channel has dropped sharply. All the castle lords are concentrating on resisting the beast tide. There are not many castle lords who can be as leisurely as Tang Xiaofan. Of course, those castle lords who have given up their castle lord status and transferred to free wanderers are not counted. These people have no castles, and the beast tide has nothing to do with them. They can speak freely in the world chat channel. If nothing unexpected happens, another group of castle lords will not see tomorrow's sunrise. Even if they are eliminated, it's what they deserve. If they are like us, they don't have to worry about the threat of the beast tide. Many castle lords look down on us wanderers. Normal. They think we are losers, timid and cowardly. But don't worry, one day we will use practical actions to tell them that wanderers can also change their fate. That's right. Look at the battle power scoreboard. Fuck. Tang Xiaofan, who is known as the strongest castle lord, is not even in the top 3. Isn't Tang Xiaofan's troop type demon? Demons can't even make it to the top 3. So what if they are demons? They are not real gods. There are hundreds of castle lords with top level troop types, and they are all frantically brushing points. It is not so incredible that they surpass Tang Xiaofan. Once the beast tide event is over, the myth created by Tang Xiaofan is bound to be broken. Once other castle lords rank first and get the only reward of the event, Tang Xiaofan's title of the strongest castle lord will be immediately erased, fall off the altar, and no longer be praised. Tang Xiaofan was also browsing the world chat channel. He was curious about the information. Then he opened the battle power score list next to the channel. Battle power score list of the initial beast tide. First place, Fire Dragon's Nest. Battle power score 245,601. Fourth place, Black Technology Castle. Battle power score 21,490. Ninth place, Taquawon Castle. Battle power score 167,901. 10th place, Tyrannosaurus Castle. Battle power score 12,076. 19th place, Ancient Giant Bear Castle. Battle power score 10,480. 100th place, Black Smoke Castle. Battle power score 7501. The battle power score list is updated in real time. Every minute and every second, the points on the list are changing. All the points on the list are in the process of rapid increase. The ranking of the castle lords on the list is also sometimes rising and sometimes being surpassed. Of course, this is normal. After all, the beast tide has just begun, and the castle lords are killing monsters in the wild. Especially those top castle lords. They are even crazier. In order to compete for the only 100 reward places, the top castle lords have tried their best. It is worth noting that Tang Xiaofan, who is known as the strongest castle lord, did not become the first place as many people thought. Instead, he was surpassed and is currently only in 4th place. 4th place is also a very high ranking. If it were other top castle lords who were not on the list, they would definitely be very excited. But for Tang Xiaofan, it is a bit unsatisfactory. After all, he is recognized as the strongest castle lord, and his troops are the legendary Hell Demons. From the advent to now, Tang Xiaofan has been leading all the castle lords all the way, standing at the top of the castle power, and no one can match him. Many people think that Tang Xiaofan should be ranked first, but now there are 3 castle lords whose points are ahead of Tang Xiaofan. This surprised them. There are also people who think that Tang Xiaofan's title of the strongest castle lord is just a false name. After becoming a troop, the demon is indeed not as strong and unparalleled as the legend. The myth created by Tang Xiaofan is about to become a thing of the past. This is what many people think. After all, the ranking of the scoreboard is there, which is the most real reflection. As for Tang Xiaofan himself, he did not pay too much attention to the ranking of the scoreboard. He did not care or worry about his 4th place. The beast tide activity has just started, and the temporary lag does not mean anything. However, Tang Xiaofan paid some attention to the castle forces on the scoreboard, and kept them in mind. The achievements of these castle forces in the future will definitely be extraordinary and worthy of his attention. Black Dragon Castle, Fire Dragon's Nest, Death Knight's Country. Tang Xiaofan also suddenly understood the reason why he fell behind. These 3 castle forces are good at war group attacks. The Dragon's Breath, the Death Knight's Charge, and the Fire of the Fire Dragon. Facing the weak wild monsters in the first few waves of the beast tide, it is easy to cause a large-scale massacre. However, after the powerful high-level wild monsters appear, similar massacres will not occur, and it will be difficult for these 3 castle forces to continue to brush points. At that time, the advantage of the warrior team will be reflected. Afterwards, Tang Xiaofan checked the rules of the points mechanism again, and found that the points obtained by killing monsters of different levels were also different. Level 2, 10 points, Level 4, 20 points, Level 6, 30 points, Level 8, 50 points, Level 10 Elite 100 points, Level 12 Elite 200 points, Level 14 Commander 500 points, Level 16 Commander 1000 points, Level 18 Lord 3000 points. If you kill monsters above level 20, the points you get will directly reach 10,000, which is equivalent to killing 1,000 level 2 monsters. When the monsters of medium and high levels appear, it's time for me to chase the list of the Black Technology Castle. Tang Xiaofan is not in a hurry now. He is confident that he will compete for the first place in the battle power scoreboard. As for the ridicule in the world chat channel, he didn't take it to heart. The only reward is destined to belong to him. Chapter 112. Battle over Black Dragon Castle. What do you think about that battle power ranking list, Wu Daijing? As a matter of life and death, the Today's Gods and Demons Continent program crew did not slack off at all. Yuki sat with the program crew guests early in the morning, and today they also invited a special guest, Wu Daijing, who is currently the most popular, and once starred in War Tiger, and became a famous movie star who became the global box office champion. I don't think you need to care about it at all. What's the use of that thing? You should still pay attention to Tang Xiaofan, right? This brother Tang Xiaofan is really amazing. Look at his machine gun on the city wall. Since the beast tide began, the muzzles on the city wall have never stopped, and countless bullets have been pouring out. Machine guns like this are very common on Blue Star now, but, ladies and gentlemen, these machine guns seem to have unlimited ammunition. Moreover, the muzzle does not need to be cooled. Master Zheng, am I right? Master Zheng also nodded and said, yes, the level of such weapons is definitely beyond the technological level of Blue Star. Muzzle cooling is still an issue, but the technology of unlimited ammunition is really hard to understand, and is completely beyond our current cognition. Wu Daijing clapped his hands and said, that's right. If this technology can be transmitted back to Dragon Country, it will be incredible. I agree with what Xiao Zheng and Xiao Wu said. In fact, Tang Xiaofan's current situation is that with technology that is beyond his time, or in other words, beyond the technological level of his opponents, he is about to realize his rule in the alien world of the Gods and Demons continent. The bureau chief also nodded and said, maybe we are all confused by the monsters of the Gods and Demons continent. Look at the factories and armor built by Tang Xiaofan. Which one is not from the Gods and Demons continent? Maybe this is the real reason why Tang Xiaofan and his friends traveled through time. The advanced civilization is transmitting more advanced information to us. That's right. It can be said that the contestants from other countries have chosen the wrong direction. Only Tang Xiaofan from our Dragon Country answered correctly. Everyone applauded, and Yuki said happily, Wu Daijing is really amazing. He is worthy of being Mr. Billionaire. He can see a different point of view at once. Yeah, I wonder when Wu Daijing's next movie will be released. I'm looking forward to it. Wu Daijing looked at the compliments of the crowd and nodded. It's almost there. I have a new idea today. I want to bring Brother Tang Xiaofan's experience in the land of gods and demons to the screen. Wow. I'm looking forward to it. It will definitely surpass Zhanhu at the box office. Everyone was praising and looking forward to Wu Daijing's new work. Only Zhang Xiaoxiao said with a face full of resentment, what's the use of being so active? Tang Xiaofan's technology can't be transmitted back. Damn it. This guy. Wu Daijing smiled, pointed to the battle in the picture and said, that may not be the case. This world is far beyond our imagination. Ranked 4th in the standings. Haha, Tang Xiaofan's demon is just so-so. The only reward belongs to my Black Dragon Castle. In a continuous mountain range in the God and Demon continent, there is a fairly magnificent high-level castle. There are countless charred corpses around the castle. Some of the corpses have even turned into ashes. In the sky near the castle, dozens of dark dragons are hovering, spewing dragon breath at the beast tied on the ground. Dozens of hot dragon breaths with dark power poured down, like dark red magma. Wherever they passed, wild monsters fell to the ground in groups. In a war of this level, the dragon clan is almost invincible, and has a great advantage. Dragon breath and dragon language magic are almost all large-scale killing skills, which are conducive to brushing the battle power scoreboard. Heh, Tang Xiaofan, I thought you were so strong. Your title of the strongest castle lord is destined to fall on my head. The only reward, haha. On the balcony on the top floor of the castle, a young man wearing high-level equipment laughed wildly. At the same time, he commanded his black dragon troops to carry out a large-scale massacre of the beast-tide. His points ranking was already at the top of the battle power ranking. Every moment, his battle power points were increasing wildly, and the gap with the ones behind him continued to widen. He felt that the only one who had a chance to compete with him for the first place in the battle power ranking was the Fire Dragon's Nest castle behind him. He knew the lord of the castle of the Fire Dragon's Nest, and they were also friends. He was a member of the Gods Alliance. The lord of the castle's army was the Flame Dragon, which, like his Black Dragon, was a top-level army belonging to the Dragon Clan. Only the Fire Dragon's Nest castle was worthy of his vigilance. As for the Demon Castle, which ranked 4th, he had gradually ignored it. The gap in battle power points was too large, and it was not an easy task for Tang Xiaofan to catch up. After all, his Black Dragon army was madly slaughtering the beast-tide. The battle power points were always in a state of soaring, and the gap with the Black Technology Castle and even the third-place Death Knight country continued to widen. The Black Technology Castle is nothing to worry about. The young man swiped the battle power ranking list, and the smile on his face became brighter. At this moment, a dense shriek came from the distant sky. The young man looked up and saw a large group of bad monsters flapping their huge wings in the sky, attacking across the sky. There were at least dozens of bad monsters, the weakest of which was elite level, and the strongest reached the level of the 16th level commander. Here comes the one who delivers points. All black dragons above level 12, go. Roar. The young man gave an order, and suddenly, more than a dozen huge black dragons took off and quickly rushed towards the bird monsters flying from the distant sky. An air battle between sky creatures began, with black dragons roaring, and bad monsters screaming. The two sides fought from long-range attacks to close combat, and thence blood rain, and limbs fell from the sky. The battle became extremely violent and bloody. The dragon race, born with dragon power, can intimidate creatures of other races, forcing them to be timid and reduce their combat effectiveness. However, this refers to the native dragons of the gods and demons continent. The black dragon soldiers recruited by the young man, although they are also pure-blooded dragons, carry the breath of another world. This breath will make the native creatures of the gods and demons continent go crazy and angry, and generate hostility from the heart. The black dragon has dragon power, but the breath of creatures from another world is enough to offset their dragon power. The native creatures of the gods and demons continent are not afraid of this dragon from another world. The dragon power of the black dragon is naturally useless. At this moment, the bird monsters that appeared in the sky were extremely crazy. They ignored the roar of the black dragon and directly fought with the black dragons in close combat. Especially the 16th level commander level bird monster. It was quite brutal. Its sharp claws like a blade forcefully tore open the scale armored defense of a 14th level initial black dragon and tore off its wings and finally killed the black dragon. Afterwards, it went straight to other black dragons, showing the powerful strength of the 16th level peak commander level. Seeing this scene, the young man's face turned green. His black dragons were few in number, and now they were damaged in battle. It was a huge loss. The most important thing was that it was a level 14 black dragon. He had spent a lot of effort to train it, but now it was torn to pieces by a bird monster that looked like a giant sparrow. It was not worth dying. Kill it. Chapter 113. A huge barbecue party outside the city wall. The young man's heart was bleeding. He roared and ordered other black dragons to besiege the 16th level commander level sparrow monster. After dealing with the big one, the other small and weak monsters were naturally no match for the black dragon troops. This sudden air battle lasted for half an hour and finally ended with the victory of the black dragons. However, the victory of the black dragons was also tragic. A total of 3 black dragons died, and many black dragons were seriously injured. This caused a great blow to the young man. Not only because of the loss of the black dragon troops, but more importantly, this would affect his acquisition of combat power points. Seeing that the second rank fire dragon's nest was getting closer and closer, the expression on the young man's face was also a little impatient. At this time, his heart suddenly jumped, seeing that the black technology castle rose to 3rd place. How could it be? The young man suddenly had a bad feeling. Could it be that the black tech castle could make a comeback? Inside the Alliance of Gods, the Black Dragon Castle and the Fire Dragon's Nest Castle did a great job. Celebrate together. 2 members of our Alliance of Gods simultaneously occupy the 1st and 2nd places in the combat PowerPoints list. This is the beginning of the glory of my Alliance of Gods, enough to go down in history. Exaggerated, brother. Exaggerated. Not at all. Just wait and see. Everything that comes next will be recorded in the development history of our Alliance of Gods. The glory of the rising era is worth remembering. In front of our Alliance of Gods, the Black Tech Castle is doomed to decline. I thought Tang Xiaofan's demon would be so strong, but I didn't expect it to only rank 4th. It seems that he is now 3rd. How is it possible? What about the Death Knight country? It was surpassed by the Black Tech Castle. Damn, this damn Death Knight country is too useless. It was surpassed by the Demon Castle in such a short time. I wanted to add him as a friend and prepare to pull him into the alliance. Demons are still demons after all. Don't worry, the troops of the Black Dragon Castle and the Fire Dragon's Nest are all top level dragons, and they have an advantage in a large scale war like the Beast Tide. It is almost impossible for the Demon Castle to surpass them. Come on, both bosses. As long as we suppress Tang Xiaofan's Black Technology Castle, our Alliance of Gods will be invincible. Tang Xiaofan will eventually be pulled down from the altar by the bosses of our Alliance of Gods. Haha. Come on, bosses. Looking at the chat records within the alliance, the 2 castle masters of the Black Dragon Castle and the Fire Dragon's Nest were a little panicked at this moment. It was not for anything else, but because the speed at which the combat power points of the Black Technology Castle increased seemed to be a little beyond their expectations. Old HUO, you have to work harder. Don't let the Tang guy overtake you. Old Black, give me the 1st place. I'll suppress Tang Xiaofan. Get lost. Don't call me Old Black. In the Black Technology Castle, the fierce battle continued as usual. The sky and the ground were full of wild monsters, including a large number of elite monsters and commander level monsters, and even several 18 level lord level monsters. It's crazy. If it were any other lord, he would feel his scalp tingling when seeing this scene, because the scale of the Beast Tide besieging the Black Technology Castle was too large. In front of this Beast Tide, the previous castle defense battle was nothing at all. It's like a small witch meeting a big witch, and they can't be compared. According to Tang Xiaofan's estimation, they are not on the same level. Why are there so many wild monsters? With such a large scale, I'm afraid only my Black Technology Castle can defend it. If it were other castle lords, they would probably have no choice but to escape. Tang Xiaofan was very confused. He didn't understand why there were so many wild monsters when it was just an initial Beast Tide. Moreover, he had never stopped asking the warrior team to clear the nearby wild beasts. Where did so many wild monsters come from? If the beast tide faced by other castle lords was as large as his, then the initial beast tide would definitely be an extinction massacre for the castle forces. Among the hundreds of castle lords, no more than 18 of them could survive by chance. It shouldn't be like this. I think the reason why my black technology castle was attacked by so many wild monsters should be related to the environment. The forest itself is a paradise for wild monsters. The number of monsters here is as numerous as stars. Another point is that it is also related to the upgrade of my black technology castle to a black technology town. The influence and reputation of the town are high, and wild monsters from more distant places will also be attracted here. That's why there are so many monsters. The scale of the beast tide encountered by other castle lords must be much smaller. It should be these two reasons. Thinking of this, Tang Xiaofan understood. As for the world chat channel and the battle power scoreboard, he no longer paid attention to it. He believed that, as long as the warrior team continued to swipe monsters at the current efficiency, it would be very easy to surpass the top castle lords in front and rank first. The only regret for Tang Xiaofan was that he still had not been able to kill a single monster so far. The beast monsters on the ground were all blocked by machine guns at the wall. They were slaughtered in batches, and the ground was full of corpses. The ground had been infected with a dark red color. The bird monsters in the sky had already appeared in the third wave. But under Zhang superiority, none of them could swoop down. Even if there were any lone ones, they were killed by the warriors around Tang Xiaofan. All the warriors were participating in this beast tide battle. The breath of killing was already pervasive, and the smell of blood was so strong that it made people feel pungent. Only Tang Xiaofan, the group of goblins and several militiamen had nothing to do. After an unknown amount of time, Tang Xiaofan suddenly discovered that the beast corpses surrounding the entire castle territory had actually begun to be flush with the city wall. There were already monsters that could directly pounce under the city wall. There are too many monster corpses. Tang Xiaofan waved his hand, and the soldiers began to throw the incendiary bombs and fertilizer bombs in their hands. Of course, Tang Xiaofan wanted to keep the city wall, and Jarvis had already made a battle plan for this. For this beast tide war, the importance of the wall is self-evident. Once it collapses, tens of thousands of wild monsters outside will swarm in like a tide, directly threatening the safety of his inner city. This is obviously not a good option, and the fertilizer bombs and Molotov cocktails he made before played an important role at this moment. Boom. Boom. The soldiers wearing Mark armor, each of them was piled with bombs and Molotov cocktails behind them, and the huge arm strength ensured that they could throw the two small things in their hands to the target location, and the bodies of wild monsters that were originally piled up like mountains became the best combustion aid. The huge flames began to burn, and fats and proteins quickly turned into fuel at high temperatures. Countless monsters still rushed into the sea of fire, but were accurately killed by machine guns, becoming new fuel for the huge fire. In the Black Technology Castle, there seemed to be a huge barbecue party being held outside the city. The beast-tide monsters automatically walked towards the barbecue grill. Chapter 114, Unparalleled Ultimate Move. Do you think Tang Xiaofan can stop it? At this moment, everyone in the Today's Gods and Demons Continent program group stopped arguing, but the atmosphere was very depressing. Because the live broadcast angle can be adjusted, they watched the scene transmitted into the studio by the director. The herd of beasts that covered the sky and the sun rushed towards Tang Xiaofan's castle. And they were not common beasts, but various wild monsters, three-eyed wolves, cheetahs with wings, mice as big as calves, and even half-human half-horse monsters. They were all furious, with bloodshot eyes, and they didn't care about the battle situation in the castle in front of them, and they didn't care whether they were natural enemies or prey around them. They all rushed towards Tang Xiaofan's Black Technology Castle with one mind. I think it's a bit dangerous. The key is that there are too many monsters. But the heart of the castle should not be broken. He has more than 1,000 warriors, and they can't be broken, even if they stand there and are attacked by monsters. The passive is definitely very passive. The number of these monsters can completely submerge his castle. Wu Daijing, the chief of the bureau, and Master Zheng were not optimistic about Tang Xiaofan's defense, but they were not too worried about his heart of the castle. I think Tang Xiaofan must have arranged it long ago. He is a scheming man. Maybe he will become a wanderer. Zhang Xiaoxiao still looks so mean, so that he can attract enough attention. Unfortunately, Tang Xiaofan and the Dragon Country program team of Blue Star thought differently. He was not worried at all. Although Jarvis had estimated the scale of this beast tide to be more than 10,000 through the lens of Xinyi. Moreover, Tang Xiaofan had discussed with Jarvis long ago that, if faced with a strong beast group impact, the number of beast groups exceeded 10,000, then the wild monsters would likely attack the city wall with the advantage of numbers. However, with the arc reactor, Tang Xiaofan was confident that his safety would be no problem, but the biggest challenge was that the monsters broke through the outer city wall. Therefore, in addition to fertilizer bombs and Molotov cocktails, Jarvis also referred to the experience of the first two wars of the Blue Star humans, and took out the barbed wire as a great weapon for the skirmish line. Barbed wire plus heavy machine guns, this is a standard death line. Even if the monsters rely on numbers and pile up corpses all the way, they will be stopped outside the barbed wire. A few wires and triangular iron frames buried in the ground, plus the machine guns that never stop above their heads. No matter how many monsters there are, they cannot get close to the wall. The soldiers also discovered the abnormality of the beast tide. However, they did not sit and wait for death, because Tang Xiaofan gave these soldiers a certain degree of mobility authorization, and Jarvis replaced War 1 and War 2 as the commander of the battlefield according to the situation of the front line. Under his command, soldiers continued to jump off the wall and frantically killed the wild monsters that were hitting the wall, reducing the pressure of the beasts on the wall. Although there were too many monsters outside the wall, under Jarvis' control, the herds were like goods on an automatic production line. They walked towards the fire one after another, and then faced the rain of bullets. After they died, they crashed into the wire mesh in front of them, and were crushed into meat paste by their dead companions behind them. Finally, they became the fuel for the fire. It looks good, Jarvis. You are really invincible in micro control. Tang Xiaofan looked at the still stalemate battle line and praised Jarvis. Thanks, sir. At this time, a dazzling silver light woke up Tang Xiaofan. He looked up and saw Xinyi running quickly around the periphery of the flames. Because of the fast speed, thousands of silver lights burst out on his body. Are you going to make a meat grinder? Tang Xiaofan narrowed his eyes. Because of the armor, Xinyi kept running in circles like this, and his speed was frighteningly fast. Moreover, he held a huge sword and a huge axe, resting them on his elbows, and chopped all the way. Xinyi was like a hot knife, cutting into butter. No matter how brave the monsters behind were, they could not escape the fate of being cut in half. The power was very strong. Accompanied by the dense screams of monsters, groups of monsters were split in half by the silver light, and fell in a pool of blood. Then the silver light circle began to expand outward steadily. Under Jarvis's subtle control, Xinyi became a scalpel, accurately cutting every animal running towards the castle without wasting any time and energy. With this move alone, nearly 1,000 wild monsters of various levels were killed in seconds, including a large number of elite monsters and commander level monsters. At the same time, on the battle power score list, the battle power points of the Black Technology Castle instantly increased by more than 20,000. This also made the Black Technology Castle's ranking in the score list directly surpass the previous Fire Dragon's Nest Castle, rising to second place. And it is catching up with the Black Dragon Castle, which ranks first. This change directly caused a shock in the world chat channel. Shit, what happened? How come the points of the Black Tech Castle skyrocketed so much all of a sudden? I was scanning the scoreboard, and this sudden change scared me. I saw it very clearly. More than 20,000 points. If it were level 2 monsters, that would be more than 2,000. What on earth did Boss Tang Xiaofan do to kill so many wild monsters in seconds? He must have used his ultimate move. Sure enough, the Alliance of Gods is just a younger brother in front of Boss Tang Xiaofan. The lord of the strongest castle has to be Tang Xiaofan. Boss Tang Xiaofan is invincible. I just want to know, is Boss Tang Xiaofan's Black Tech Castle recruiting wanderers? If nothing else, I just want to see if the demons are pretty. Same question. I'm afraid it won't take too long for the Black Tech Castle to surpass the Black Dragon Castle and vie for the top spot on the battle power scoreboard. There is no doubt about this. Boss Tang Xiaofan's Black Tech Castle is the strongest castle force. Don't be happy too soon. Tang Xiaofan will definitely not be able to use such a big move a second time. It's not so easy for him to surpass the Black Dragon Castle. Without saying anything else, my alliance of gods can be summed up in one word: invincible. The guy above didn't learn math well, and he still dares to come out and play. What is the alliance of gods? The Wanderer Alliance is the most powerful force. Top. The Black Technology Castle's combat power points leapt forward, causing a sensation. Many castle lords expressed disbelief, and the top castle lords in the Alliance of Gods were also stunned. They speculated on what big move Tang Xiaofan had used to get more than 20,000 points at once. This must have killed hundreds of level 10 wild monsters in an instant. Such a big move. Is it a rare magic skill, or a skill that the devil has? It should be a magic skill. If it is a devil skill, it's too scary. Dragon language magic is not so perverted. Don't worry, Black Dragon Castle is still in the first place, and there is hope to get the only reward. As for Tang Xiaofan, I can conclude that he can't come a second time. I also believe it's impossible. However, the top castle lords of the Alliance of Gods didn't know. This is just the beginning. The real trick is yet to come. Chapter 115: The Birth of a Level 21 Warrior. How is it going over there? Tang Xiaofan contacted the little Lalita in the underground world. The little Lalita replied happily, Tang Xiaofan, don't worry, Killer is fine. After Uncle Xavier was promoted to level 20, he became super powerful. All wild monsters are no match for him. Killer's dwarf warriors are also very brave and blocked the beast tied outside the wall. Tang Xiaofan nodded. That's good. In the battle to defend the castle, the little Lalita revealed the wall blueprint. Coupled with the original fence, the defense capability of the Dark Iron Dwarf Castle can be said to be very strong. In addition, as a level 20 dwarf Xavier, he can be regarded as a stabilizing force of the Dark Iron Dwarf Castle. With him, the little Lalita's castle is safe and worry-free. After closing the friend column, Tang Xiaofan looked at the battlefield not far away. The barbed wire of the wall outside the castle blocked thousands of wild monsters. They desperately wanted to pass through the line of fire and barbed wire, as well as the baptism of bullets and rain, and wanted to rush into his castle. Unfortunately, after being slaughtered on a large scale by Zhen Yi, the camp of wild monsters also paused for a moment, as if they were frightened. But soon, the wild monsters became manic again. They seemed to be affected by some mysterious power, or attracted by the heart of the castle, and once again lost their minds and rushed madly, wanting to destroy Tang Xiaofan's castle. The only thing to be thankful for is that it is afternoon now, and the blood moon has not yet arrived. This makes the strength of wild monsters not as abnormal as at night. The wild monsters in front of them are also crazy and bloodthirsty, but they still have normal combat power. This is good news for all castle lords who are experiencing the beast tide. Lord, killing is redemption, death is eternal life. Use blood to atone for sins. On the battlefield, Zhen Yi was like a phantom figure flashing among the monsters. Every time he flashed, a wild monster would be killed. Under Jarvis' control, Zhen Yi instantly killed more than a dozen wild monsters, including a level 14 commander level wild monster. However, he did not slaughter them like crazy as before. Jarvis judged that, if the beast tide was dealt with too quickly and too easily, it might lead to other unpredictable results. So he chose a low intensity slaughter. Anyway, these monsters were easy to kill, and there was no difficulty. Everything was under control. At this time, Zhen Yi also found a slightly tricky opponent, a monster that could be called an opponent. Silver light bloomed on the battlefield. The figure covered by the silver light was Zhen Yi. He was holding a giant sword and a giant axe, fighting with an 18th level Lord level Minotaur. The Minotaur's body was already covered with wounds, and covered with dazzling blood. The pain made it quite irritable, roaring continuously, and it was constantly casting magic on its body. It was a blood recovery spell that was constantly emitted from between the bull's horns, covering his body. However, Zhang Yi, who turned into a stream of light and shadow, kept cutting the Minotaur's body, and large pieces of flesh and blood splashed. The Minotaur's magic was fully activated, and he desperately cast a blood recovery spell on himself. The flesh and blood on his body kept surging, and the flesh that had just been cut off grew out instantly. The power of his flesh and blood was so strong that Zhang Yi couldn't kill it quickly. As a battle experienced Zhang Yi, at this moment, he was already at level 21. Originally, he could completely fight against the 18th level Lord level monster with his own strength. Finally, he found an opportunity. The giant sword in his hand pointed at the Minotaur's neck, where its defense was the weakest, and released a powerful chop. The Almighty Lord creates peasants to maintain the order of the universe. The Lord's sword punishes all disloyal people. Those who blaspheme the Lord should be punished by the warrior's sword. Warrior's judgment. With Zhang Yi's whisper, the Mark II armor, with the blessing of the arc reactor, increased its speed to the extreme. Zhang Yi held the giant sword and suddenly opened his eyes with cold light. The giant sword and the giant axe slashed at the neck of the 18th level commander level Minotaur at the same time. Puff. Blood splattered. The neck of the 18th level Lord level Minotaur was broken. The entire huge head was chopped off. The blood spurting from the neck rushed into the sky, spraying to a height of dozens of meters, before turning into a waterfall and falling. The 18th level Lord fell. In just this moment, the Black Technology Castle suddenly soared in the battle power scoreboard. After an unknown amount of time, finally, another Lord level monster Wild Boar monster, which was as high as the peak of level 18, was killed by Zhang Yi again. At the moment of its fall, a dazzling golden light suddenly emerged from Zhang Yi's body. That golden light was the light of promotion. The same golden light also appeared on many warriors, even Tang Xiaofan. Up to now, the warriors have killed nearly 4,000 wild monsters and obtained extremely rich experience promotion. Tang Xiaofan, who was originally in the late stage of level 8, was also successfully promoted to level 9. With the equipment on him, it was no problem to suppress the commander level monster. However, what made Tang Xiaofan most happy was Zhang Yi's promotion. He was already at the peak of level 20 and was only one step away from the level of 21. When he captured the Lizardman tribe at noon, he successfully promoted to level 20. Now, he has finally completed another breakthrough, and the experience bar has surpassed the limit of the current rank and directly entered a new level 21st level. This level can also be called a strong one for the local forces of the God and Demon continent. In a tribe, he can be called a master of the tribe, able to protect the safety of the tribe. For example, the local fire dragon that appeared in front of Tang Xiaofan twice before was at level 21. The fire dragon has grown up and is qualified to open a dragon cave. Finally, my Black Technology Castle also has a level 21. Tang Xiaofan smiled. Zhang Yi's continuous improvement made him happier than his own promotion to level 9. As the first warrior he summoned, Zhang Yi naturally received his attention. And Zhang Yi did not disappoint him. Not only was he brave in battle and always rushed to the front line, but he also had a very strong mind and constantly passed on his experience to other warriors. Such a farmer never stopped working hard and struggling. Tang Xiaofan believed that, if other castle lords also summoned soldiers like Zhang Yi, they would definitely make a fortune. Zhang Yi was still fighting diligently on the front line at this moment, constantly killing huge monsters with powerful destructive power, making the entire beast tide look so controllable and safe. At the same time, Tang Xiaofan also found that, after being promoted to level 21, Zhang Yi's height and body shape did not change much, but the information monitoring screen sent by Jarvis showed that Zhang Yi's mastery of the Mark II armor had been greatly improved by him, reaching about 50%. This shows that the combat potential of this armor is already clear in front of Zhang Yi. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 116 Building Upgrade Blueprints. At the same time, Tang Xiaofan also found that, after being promoted to level 21, Zhang Yi's physical condition on the detection screen became more and more like a sun. This should be the ideal state of ki and blood power, right? Jarvis, how is Zhang Yi's physical fitness? Sir, Zhang Yi's body has reached the peak of human beings. Yes, it seems that upgrading is not bad. At least it can improve physical fitness and reduce the risk of illness. I must insist on upgrading. At this time, outside the castle, inside the outer wall, a burst of intensive shouting and killing suddenly sounded. This sound disturbed Tang Xiaofan's thoughts. He looked up and saw dense goblins rushing out of the gate of the outer wall. The goblins were equipped with simple weapons and their strength was generally weak. Most of them were around level 6. But they were fearless and brave enough to move forward towards the beast tide surrounding the Black Technology Castle. Kill all these evil wild monsters and protect the Lord's castle. The Lord's castle cannot be tainted by the dark forces. Charge. Many goblins were screaming, and the goblin elders, who were fanatics, rushed to the front. Hundreds of goblin warriors rushed to attack the beast tide directly. At the same time, Tang Xiaofan also found that many goblin warriors were stained with blood, and their weapons were too many broken. Some goblins were bleeding while running. Obviously, they wanted to show their loyalty. Tang Xiaofan's guess was right. The reason why the goblins came so late was because they saw that the monsters were killed and injured in large numbers. They felt that it was time to express their loyalty. Unfortunately, the monsters would not show mercy. A full 1,000 goblins killed their way out of the city wall, and then there were only less than 700 goblins left. Most of the goblins died under the city wall, but the goblins did not gain nothing. The surviving goblins gained a lot of combat experience, and almost all of them were promoted to a level. Some goblins have even been promoted to the 12th level elite. By killing enemies, you can gain experience and upgrade. This is a benefit of the castle troops. After the goblin tribe joined the Black Technology Castle, the goblins in the tribe also became Tang Xiaofan's troops, and could enjoy this benefit. Believe in the Lord and you will have eternal life. If you don't believe in the Lord, you will die. Kill. The goblins were shouting that faith is loyalty. Inspired by the power of faith, the wild monsters on the battlefield were also a little confused. They didn't understand why the goblins of the local forces came to join in the fun. Of course, this thought only lasted for a few seconds and then disappeared. Then a large number of wild monsters who lost their minds turned their attack direction and fought with the goblin troops. Suddenly, limbs flew and blood splattered. Wild monsters kept falling, and the brave goblins also suffered casualties. However, whenever a goblin sacrificed, their pure souls would float up under the power of faith, floating in the air, and then thrown towards the temple in the city, turning into the power of faith. Seeing this scene, Tang Xiaofan just shook his head slightly. Although the current strength of the warrior team can completely resist the beast tide, the goblin tribe no longer needs to participate in the war. However, he did not stop it, nor did he let the goblins retreat. Wars inevitably result in casualties. If there is no war, then his goblin troops will be in a low-level state for a long time. Weak strength, unusable. Just as the world announcement said, the hegemony of all races is a journey of blood and fire. Only the lord of the castle who has experienced cruel tests is qualified to stand at the peak of the endless world and master the authority of the supreme god. The core meaning of this sentence is the same for the goblin tribe. Without experiencing killing and war, how can you grow into a powerful goblin warrior? What's more, the heroic sacrifice of the goblins is not meaningless. After the beast tide war is over, Tang Xiaofan will use light armored trucks to dump the materials produced by the Black Technology Castle to the goblin tribe. In this way, the sacrifice of the goblins will be meaningful. On the one hand, the production mode of the goblin tribe has changed from an efficient hunting to a highly efficient mode such as mining, logging, and quarrying. On the other hand, the Black Technology Castle provides a series of products for food, clothing, housing, and transportation to improve the quality of life of the goblin tribe. In this way, it can be regarded as providing a sacrifice value for these sacrificed goblins. In the future, only tribes that are truly recognized can join the economic circulation system of the Black Technology Castle and enjoy the scientific and technological achievements of the Black Technology Castle. At this time, Tang Xiaofan suddenly felt a little confused and asked in his mind, in addition to the castle, what other buildings can be built in other towns? Only temples can be built in other towns. Other buildings cannot be separated from the center of the town and cannot leave the town's sphere of influence. The temple must be upgraded before it can be built in other towns. The temple can only be upgraded through building upgrade drawings. Well, the temple can be upgraded, which is also good news. In this way, just like a courier base, farmers can be arranged to serve as clergy in temples in other towns to preach, and related affairs in other towns can also be controlled by distributing supplies. In this way, it is not only safe, but also obviously very controllable. However, Tang Xiaofan was still a little surprised and felt that he had entered a blind spot in knowledge. The temple was built by upgrading the castle, not the initial building like the castle and the farmer's factory. There was no prompt in the information of the temple whether it could be upgraded. It was directly a high-level building. Tang Xiaofan originally thought that this kind of castle building built by upgrading could not be upgraded, but he didn't expect that he guessed wrong. Building upgrade drawings? Tang Xiaofan took a breath. He found that drawings were getting more and more bizarre. Not only were there soldiers' evolution drawings and factory drawings, but now even building upgrade drawings appeared. Although he didn't get it, it really existed. If I can get a building upgrade drawing, I will definitely not use it to upgrade the temple, but will upgrade the farmer's factory without hesitation. For the lord of the castle, the level upgrade of the soldiers' buildings has always been the core. In comparison, the upgrade of the castle is not so important, let alone the affiliated building temple. Don't think about it. The beast tide is important. Seeing that all the warriors rushed directly into the battlefield at this moment, they fought hand to hand with the nearby wild monsters. The warriors had rich combat experience, and they also had the strength and speed added by the Mark armor. They swung their double-edged axes wildly, accompanied by bursts of machine gun fire, and slashed and killed everywhere in the beast tide. Many wild monsters fell dead. In a short period of time, the warriors killed hundreds of wild monsters, many of which were elite. This kind of battle without considering danger is very refreshing for the warriors. This is also the benefit of Jarvis, who can monitor the battle line globally. He ensures that the impact of the beast tide is maintained at a more reasonable level, and also allows all warriors to have the opportunity to display their abilities, maintain a low intensity confrontation, and be ready for larger scale battles at any time. Chapter 117. Bear Grylls Obsession. Xanur did not leave. He watched Zhenyi chasing a level 14 commander level monster. He let the commander level monster's magic skills attack Zhenyi, and then he raised his sword and cut off the monster's head. His armor was intact. It was just that the outermost layer of armor looked a little dusty, that's all. It's great. Zhenyi was in a good mood. The beast tide surrounded the city, and he could finally give full play to his power. Without pausing, he once again swung the sword of the goblin chieftain in his hand to kill the wild monsters nearby, with an extremely ferocious momentum. The beast tide continued. With the participation of hundreds of goblin warriors, a large number of wild monsters were killed in a short period of time. Black Tech Castle also gained a huge amount of combat power points, even surpassing Black Dragon Castle directly, ranking first in the combat power points list. First place, Black Tech Castle. Combat power points 120,832. Second place, Black Dragon Castle. Combat power points 95,300. Third place, Fire Dragon's Nest Castle. Combat power points 93,660. Fourth place, Death Knight Country. Combat power points 91,660. 12th place, Ancient Giant Bear Castle. Combat power points 50,480. On the combat power points list, the top 4 did not change much, and the points of the 4 castle forces such as Black Dragon Castle have always been at the top. However, Candy Maze and Bear Grylls Castle have entered a high ranking. The other rankings under the list have also undergone tremendous changes, some are rising every time, and some are surpassed every time. The Blue Fat Man Castle, which was previously hanging at the end, has disappeared and has been replaced by the new Castle Force Violent Iron Fist Castle. The competition in this Beast Tide event was very fierce. All the top level castle lords were trying their best to get a reward. But there were only 100 places. The number of top level castle lords was at least several hundred, and a large number of them were always eliminated. The castle forces that appeared on the list naturally became the target that other castle forces wanted to surpass. Regardless of the fierceness and cruelty of the Beast Tide event, the World Chat channel and the internal information of the major alliances were boiling. The reason was simple. Tang Xiaofan's black technology castle changed the previous decline. In less than an hour, it surpassed 3 top-level castle forces in a row and won the first place in the scoreboard. This was enough to shock everyone. It was also enough to make some castle lords who did not want Tang Xiaofan to reach the top feel disappointed. I knew that Master Tang Xiaofan is the strongest. What the hell? Tang Xiaofan is number 1 again. I'm tired of seeing it. Who do you think you are? The one upstairs? Black Dragon Castle, Fire Dragon's Nest Castle, Death Knight Country, none of them work. Master Tang Xiaofan is awesome. I have to say, Master Tang Xiaofan's demons are really too strong. If nothing unexpected happens, Master Tang Xiaofan will always strive for the first place. Until the end of the Beast Tide event. Until the end of the Beast Tide event, you can see the speed at which the points of the Black Technology Castle increase, and you will know that other castle forces have no hope of surpassing the Black Technology Castle. Master Tang Xiaofan's number 1 throne is already stable. The title of the strongest castle lord. After all, no one can shake it. It's just a little bit short. The Black Dragon Castle is too weak. It didn't even sit still, and it was overtaken by Tang Xiaofan, which disappointed me so much. There's nothing we can do. The dragon army is still weaker than the demon. What is a demon? It's a monster from hell. This also proves the saying that the one who laughs last is the ultimate winner. I've made up my mind. I'm going to the forest to seek refuge with boss Tang Xiaofan. I'm asking him to take in a wanderer like me. It's worth encouraging. Wanderers still have to rely on the lord of the castle to exist. Finding a top lord of the castle to seek refuge with is of great help to the wanderer's strength. And the refuge of wanderers is also beneficial to the lord of the castle. Don't be so confident. It's not so easy to get close to boss Tang Xiaofan. Be careful of being dealt with by his demons. That's right. With so many choices, why do you have to go that way? Otherwise, come to me. Many lords of the castle were silent, because this sentence really made sense. The power of the castle is similar to the guild in the game, and wanderers are free people. It is profitable for both parties to recruit free people into the guild, because it is equivalent to opening a company, and free people help the lord of the castle to work. Compared to the liveliness of the World Chat channel, the internal chat channel of the Alliance of Gods was almost bleak. Damn it. We didn't even see such a big advantage, and were overtaken by Tang Xiaofan. According to my estimation, the Beast Tide is almost over now. As long as we hold on a little longer, we might be able to defeat Tang Xiaofan and win the first place reward. What a pity. You bastards only know how to watch the fun. Do you think I want to? Most of the wild monsters that appear now are elite and commander level. There are even to damn 18 level lord level monsters. I have lost 15 black dragons so far. Damn. I don't understand. They are the same type of soldiers. How can the demons be so much more perverted than my black dragons? According to what Leo Heli said, the demon's strength is indeed terrifying. 10 black dragons died. Leo Heli, please accept my condolences. Leo Heli, please accept my condolences. Fuck. Are you laughing at me? When the Beast Tide is over, I will slaughter all your castles one by one. Heh. Afraid of you? I'm just thinking of getting a few dragons to train a group of bone dragons and ghost dragons and find a time to fight. Just wait. Okay, stop arguing. If it gets out, won't people treat you as a joke? We all know how powerful Tang Xiaofan is, and it's normal for him to be surpassed. Bear, how is your ancient giant bear castle? The losses are not small, but the soldiers can be recruited, so it's not a big problem. In the Karamate grassland, the bloodstained bear sighed slightly. He looked at the first name on the battle power scoreboard and felt helpless. His goal was to surpass Tang Xiaofan and get the only reward for ranking first. As a result, now he seems to only get the 10th place after all his efforts. After all, I thought too much. However, I have the top resources of the Alliance of Gods to rely on, and the development speed will not be much slower than Tang Xiaofan, or even faster. Bear was not discouraged by his failure to surpass Tang Xiaofan. He was still full of fighting spirit. He believed that sooner or later he would be able to rank above Tang Xiaofan. Suddenly, he took out a blueprint that he had picked up during the battle. The expression on Betty Yi's face was very vivid. Factory blueprint? Is it such a coincidence? Betty Yi was inexplicably happy. With this blueprint, he could add Tang Xiaofan as a friend. This was his obsession. Its importance was even higher than the ranking reward of the Beast Tide event itself. Chapter 118. The Beast Tide is about to end. Black Technology Castle. The Beast Tide has lasted for nearly 2 hours, but there are still all kinds of wild monsters coming like a tide. The number of bad monsters killed by Zhang Yi alone has reached the 5th wave. The goblins who entered the battlefield have also retreated back to the city. Their tribe is too small to withstand the slaughter of monsters. Moreover, they have proved their loyalty and also upgraded the tribal warriors, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Similarly, more and more wild monsters are constantly killed by the warriors, and even the goblins can't see the monsters at all. They are not as brave as the warriors. They leave the protection area of the city wall and actively attack the monsters. They have killed many goblins under the protection of machine guns, and of course they stop when they see the good. At this moment, the corpses of wild monsters have already covered the open space around the castle. They are mainly concentrated in the outer periphery of the castle about 100 meters, and a circle of strong burning smell permeates. I don't know why. After these wild monsters were burned into charcoal, there was nothing left, only a black mark on the ground. Since the monsters' attacks were contained, the warriors began to take the initiative to attack. If you look down from the air, you can see that the territory within 2 kilometers of the Black Technology Castle is full of corpses of wild monsters. The scene is quite tragic. Death rotation. Swish. Swish. Zhang Yi accelerated again and killed a large number of wild monsters in seconds under the control of Jarvis. This is the 3rd time Zhang Yi has released such a large-scale Legion-type combat skill in this war. The terrifying lethality makes it difficult for the already dense monster group to support. But Zhang Yi is like nothing happened. This consumption does not even take up 1 second of energy for the arc reactor. On the battlefield, in addition to him, other warriors on the battlefield are also trying their best, killing thousands of wild monsters. This war makes all the warriors feel very happy, which is much easier than the previous battles. The most important thing is that, because of the arc reactor, Jarvis uses the Mark II war armor to build a smart network with sufficient energy, allowing him to complete the deduction in an instant and easily control the action route of each warrior. Moreover, he can build a database based on the action habits of each soldier. He will not force the soldiers to do some actions through the armor, but guide them based on the habits of each soldier. Just like a conductor, more than 1,000 soldiers fully demonstrated their abilities under his baton. Moreover, Jarvis has been conducting data analysis and modeling of wild monsters and has calculated the weaknesses, action patterns and possible risks of monsters in advance. So the soldiers felt that this battle was particularly easy because they did not know that these massive calculations required huge energy. And considering that all this was only based on the Mark II armor as a computing unit, the instantaneous energy consumed was huge. The reason why Tang Xiaofan watched the battle on the top floor of the castle was that Jarvis acted as a battery. Fortunately, there will be more and more arc reactors in the future, and energy consumption will no longer be a problem. The battle has been going on for a long time, and the soldiers are still vigorous, and they began to clear the wild monsters on the battlefield with a more powerful attitude. Well done. Tang Xiaofan was also encouraged by the soldiers, and he couldn't help but praise Jarvis's work. Jarvis, you are so amazing. Yes, sir. Thank you for your compliment. I deserve it. Tang Xiaofan laughed. Without hesitation, he finally drove the Mark II armor, flew into the air, and rushed into the battlefield, swinging his sword to chop the remaining wild monsters. The warriors were also more courageous, and they attacked the beast tide fearlessly. You can even see some warriors emitting a faint light, which is the light of faith. After witnessing Zhang Yi flying in the air, their faith in Tang Xiaofan skyrocketed instantly. Any farmer who had a faint light on his body meant that their faith level had been promoted from a devout believer to a fanatic. Fanatics can be said to be the most loyal believers in the plain world. Believe in the Lord and you will have eternal life. The goblin elder also shouted wildly on the city wall. He was old, but his bravery did not diminish. He was even promoted to the 16th level commander in the arms welfare, and his strength skyrocketed. His originally old body also became very strong, and returned to his prime. His belief in the Lord has reached the peak of a fanatic. In order to protect the Lord's castle, he is not afraid of death. He waved the goblin sword in his hand, and cheered for Tang Xiaofan, who rushed into the beast tide alone and madly killed wild monsters, and he was still howling. If you use a title to describe the goblin elder, it is a flatterer. Well, he is an absolute flatterer. Tang Xiaofan felt that his martial arts had improved. The monsters under his hands were not even a match. They were killed in one axe, which was not challenging at all. I don't know how long it took. Even the sun had set. Under the crazy attack of the warrior team, the beast tide finally showed signs of retreat. Is this the end? Tang Xiaofan held the double-edged axe stained with the blood of the monsters, and looked into the distance. In this fierce war, there was no blood stain on his armor. Jarvis's macro control ability was almost godlike, so how could he let the blood stain splash on his body? It can be said that he was basically unscathed in the battle until now. It is the one that is most well protected. Tang Xiaofan was on the battlefield. He was very keen to discover the abnormality of the beast tide. Some weak wild monsters were still attacking with their heads down, but those strong and high-level wild monsters were retreating. For example, the 16th level commander level magic earthworm not far from Tang Xiaofan. It is retreating now. When retreating, this magic earthworm did not forget to use the nearby wild monsters to cover its huge body. But this is obviously a cover-up, because its body is too huge, and it is clearly visible in the beast tide full of monsters. Therefore, Zhang Yi and Zhena both set their eyes on the magic earthworm. One head of this monster has already drilled into the soil. Zhang Yi fell from the sky, and Zhena rushed forward rapidly. The two of them finally joined together in tacit understanding. The machine gun bullets first hit the skin of the magic earthworm, and blood splashed everywhere. Then the two double-edged giant axes swung and chopped down, chopping the magic earthworm into 3 sections. The magic bullets fired by the magic earthworms, in addition to knocking away the wild monsters around them, did not hurt Zhang Yi and Zhena at all. It was a pity that the huge jungle overlords like the magic earthworms had no way to face the Mark armor, and could only be killed. The retreat of the magic earthworms seemed to be a signal. On the battlefield, other commander level wild monsters also retreated. As for the lord level wild monsters, they were surrounded and killed by the soldiers as soon as they appeared. Zhena alone killed 3 lord monsters. It seems that the beast tide is really coming to an end. Chapter 119. We have made this enmity. Tang Xiaofan could no longer see the madness in the eyes of those commander level wild monsters. They seemed to have regained their sanity. They knew that the target of this attack was too powerful to be captured. They were worried about dying here in vain, so they retreated one after another. Seeing this scene, Tang Xiaofan finally breathed a sigh of relief. From the beginning of the beast tide to now, the war has lasted for at least 4 hours. Although Jarvis's control was very powerful and everyone's physical strength was not consumed much, the high-intensity battle kept the farmer's spirits tense. Tang Xiaofan himself felt a little exhausted physically and mentally, and was eager to see the beast tide end quickly. Tang Xiaofan opened the world chat channel, and immediately found that countless castle lords were sending messages that the beast tide activity was over. The entire world chat channel was boiling. The content of the world announcement above the channel has also been changed. The general idea is that the beast tide activity has ended completely. Congratulations to the castle lord for passing the test of blood and fire, and encouragement to the castle lord who successfully passed the beast tide to keep up the good work. The data of the battle power score ranking list has been fixed. First place, Black Technology Department Castle, battle power score 401,121. Second place, Fire Dragon's Nest Castle, combat power points 165,500. Third place, Death Knight Country, combat power points 165,040. 4th place, Black Dragon Castle. Combat power points 141,248. 5th place, Elf Garden. Combat power points 137,402. 10th place, Ancient Giant Bear Castle. Combat power points 102,900. 100th place, Naga Labyrinth. Combat power point 67,510. Tang Xiaofan found that the ranking of the combat power points list has changed again, and the biggest change is Black Dragon Castle. Black Dragon Castle ranked first in the early stage, and was surpassed by his Black Technology Castle in the middle and late stages, ranking second. As for the late stage, until the end of the Beast Tide, Tang Xiaofan did not look at the ranking list. Unexpectedly, the Black Dragon Castle actually dropped in the ranking, and ran to 4th place. It was completely surpassed by the two castle forces of Fire Dragon's Nest Castle and Death Knight Country, that followed closely behind. This really proves the saying, that the one who laughs last is the winner. As for the combat power points of the Black Technology Castle, it is as high as more than 400,000, which is twice as much as the second ranked Fire Dragon's Nest Castle. The gap can be imagined. Celebrate together. The Beast Tide is finally over. I really want to cry now. The great era of our castle lords has arrived. All the castle lords who have not been eliminated will get the opportunity to develop rapidly. You are right. We should be happy. This is the era of our castle lords. Without the threat of the Beast Tide, our castle will usher in a period of rapid development. In a short time, we can attack the local forces of the continent of gods and demons. Brothers and sisters, the real great era has arrived. But, I just want to say one thing, Brother Tang Xiaofan's Black Technology Castle is simply too strong. Nonsense. It surpasses all castle lords in all aspects, and its combat power points are as high as nearly 400,000, which is twice that of the second place Fire Dragon's Nest Castle. The Black Technology Castle, the strongest castle force, is not in vain. At first, I was worried that Brother Tang Xiaofan would not be able to win the first place, but now it seems that I thought too much. It was too early for the Black Dragon Castle to be happy. Not only did it fail to suppress Brother Tang Xiaofan's Black Technology Castle, but it was surpassed by the Fire Dragon's Nest Castle and the Death Knight Kingdom. The absolute advantage in the early stage was finally exchanged for a 4th place. TSK. I heard that the Black Dragon Castle was attacked by a powerful group of monsters and suffered heavy losses. This is why the ranking of the Black Dragon Castle has plummeted. It is said that the Lord of the Black Dragon Castle has lost more than 20 Black Dragon soldiers and has vomited 3 liters of blood. Looking at the battle power rankings, you can see that the Black Technology Castle of Tang Xiaofan is the castle force that was attacked by the most ferocious Beast Tide. The monsters in the Black Dragon Castle are nothing at all. The heavy losses of the Black Dragon Castle are a reflection of its weak strength. If the Beast Tide encountered by the Black Dragon Castle was replaced by the Black Technology Castle, it would be nothing at all. The popularity of the World Chat channel has skyrocketed countless times, and countless castle lords have spoken in the channel. At this time, they can finally breathe a sigh of relief and relax. The Beast Tide is over, and the crisis in front of them has temporarily passed. So everyone is now speaking freely in the World Chat channel, and the main discussion is about the battle power rankings. There are also wanderers who interrupt, but they are quickly drowned out. Compared with the castle forces, the wanderer forces that have just risen are still too weak. There is a saying that can be described very aptly: you can't make a big wave. In addition to the World Chat channel, the alliances of various alliances are also discussing the battle power rankings. The most lively one is the Alliance of Gods. The original purpose of the establishment of the Alliance of Gods was to suppress Tang Xiaofan. As a result, in this Beast Tide event, not only did dozens of top castle lords in the alliance not suppress Tang Xiaofan, but they were all suppressed by Tang Xiaofan. You can imagine how they felt. Very bad. Fuck. It doesn't make sense at all. How could Tang Xiaofan's Black Tech Castle be so strong? The combat power points of the Black Tech Castle surpass the Fire Dragon's Nest. How many wild monsters did Tang Xiaofan kill? It's terrifying. Tang Xiaofan must have cheated. Don't say such wise words. It will make people laugh if it gets out. I only care about what the only reward for ranking first is. Artifact? God level map? God level soldiers? Do you want to bring gods? What you said makes me feel cold. If Tang Xiaofan really got the artifact, wouldn't it be a piece of cake to suppress our alliance of gods? That's not necessarily true. Tang Xiaofan doesn't even know where my castle is. You're bragging. Don't say such discouraging words. Leo Hei is afraid that he will vomit blood this time. Leo Hei has already vomited blood. Not only did he not get the first place, but now he is not even in the top 3. The most important thing is that he lost so many Black Dragon soldiers. If it were me, I would be heartbroken. I was very lucky. There were not many wild monsters besieging my castle, and my troops were not damaged at all. It's not necessarily lucky. Although the beast tide is terrifying, it can be regarded as a disguised way to improve the strength of our castle troops. Without experiencing a large wave of beast tide attacks, the harvest is naturally small. That's right. After the beast tide ended, there were more than a dozen troops under my command who reached level 16. I also have lord level troops at level 18. Looking at the chat records within the alliance, a young man in a certain castle had an extremely ugly expression. He was the lord of the Black Dragon castle. He lost more than 20 Black Dragons, and the castle power suffered a heavy blow. As a result, instead of comforting him, his allies ridiculed him and repeatedly mentioned that he did not enter the top 3. This made him very angry, but he could do nothing. At least in the short term, he could not teach those allies who ridiculed him a lesson. Tang Xiaofan stole my first place, and it was fine. You too, the Fire Dragon's Nest and the Death Knight country, also opposed me. I lost face in the alliance, and this grudge has been made. Chapter 120. Occupy the number 1 ranking and get the only reward. Strictly speaking, the castle lord of the Fire Dragon's Nest is his friend, but they are just superficial acquaintances. As for the castle lord of the Death Knight country, he is not even a member of the Alliance of Gods. He has no psychological burden to bear grudges against these two castle forces. He even believes that the ridicule and grievances he is suffering now are caused by these two castle forces. After all, even if he did not grab the first place, but got the second place, he would not be ridiculed by the people in the alliance and the countless castle lords in the world. Tang Xiaofan can ignore it. The Black Technology Castle is already so powerful that he can't afford to offend it alone. However, sooner or later, he will teach these two castle forces a lesson. Beiyi, what are you doing? The young man opened the friend column and sent a message to Beiyi. After a long time, he got a reply from Beiyi, cleaning the battlefield. The young man nodded. Yes, the beast tide had just passed, and everyone was cleaning the battlefield and repairing wounds. Oh, it's so hard for me. The Black Dragon troops suffered heavy losses. Please comfort me, Mr. Bear. Mr. Bear replied helplessly, don't be sad. The loss of troops is nothing. We can just recruit more. Besides, getting 4th place is already very good. The reward must be better than mine. The young man knew that Mr. Bear was the 10th. Looking at the reply, the young man smiled. Mr. Bear is Mr. Bear. He knows how to comfort people. At this moment, he received another reply, and the smile on his face became brighter. Mr. Bear, by the way, I have a question for you. The young man was overjoyed, thinking that Mr. Bear was worried that he was sad because of the loss of troops and wanted to comfort himself. He was extremely excited. He wondered if Mr. Bear was going to recognize him as the boss. If so, he would be very happy to accept it. Mr. Bear has the ugly country behind him. If he can return to Blue Star in the future, after being in the God and Demon continent, then Mr. Bear will be his benefactor. However, Bear Grylls kept talking to himself. I plan to send the factory drawings to Tang Xiaofan and take this opportunity to pull him into our alliance of gods. As long as Tang Xiaofan is willing to come in, our alliance of gods will surely be able to sweep away the local forces of the continent of gods and demons in the future and stand at the top of the world. So let me ask you, what do you think of my idea? Xinian looked at the message sent by Bear Grylls. He was completely stunned. It turned out that the factory drawings were not given to him at all, but to Tang Xiaofan. After all, he thought too much. The young man gritted his teeth and replied, if Tang Xiaofan knew the original intention of establishing our alliance of gods, what would he think? So I think it's better not to pull him into our alliance for the time being. The factory drawings are so precious, they should be given to the people who need them most in the alliance. Who is the person who needs the factory drawings most in the alliance? Of course it's him. Benny Yi nodded, and the young man said that it was alright. What you said makes sense. Let me build a good relationship with Tang Xiaofan first, and then pull him in. That's it. The young man was directly confused. Is that what he meant? Not at all. When he thought of Benny Yi, who he had been thinking about, he was about to take the initiative to talk to Tang Xiaofan and build a good relationship. The young man was so angry that his face turned blue, and his mood, which was already very angry, became even worse. Tang Xiaofan, you wait for me. Sooner or later I will make you look good. In addition to the Fire Dragon's Nest and the Death Knight's country, he once again added a target of hatred. Although this target is very strong and perverted, it does not prevent him from being jealous and hateful. Black Technology Castle. The beast tide activity has ended, but the battle did not end immediately. Those commander level monsters that took the initiative to retreat were also promoted to the first level and caught up with 1 or 2 to kill. Only then did the beast tide end completely. Nearly 10,000 wild monsters that attacked the Black Technology Castle were all killed without exception. At the same time, a large area of golden light appeared on the battlefield, and many warriors were promoted again. Just from the perspective of their level increase, Tang Xiaofan made a fortune in this beast tide activity. In addition to the 20 level warrior, a large number of warriors were promoted to the 18th level and entered a period of rapid growth. As for the goblins who survived this war, they were at least at the 8th level. The highest level goblin elder even entered the 16th level of the great commander. There were too many wild monsters killed this time, nearly 10,000. Among them, there were many elite level, command level and lord level monsters. The energy value gained by the warriors and goblins was absolutely terrifying. There are also spoils of war. Nearly 10,000 corpses of various wild monsters. How much food can be collected? I'm afraid it's more than 100,000 units. In addition, the most important thing is the soul stones and blueprints. All great harvests. Tang Xiaofan stood on the battlefield soaked in blood, and the smile on his face was hard to suppress. According to his estimation, the soul stones harvested in this war, plus his previous reserves, can definitely upgrade the construction worker and farmer factory to level 4. Can the level 4 farmer factory recruit and update the farmer profession? I'm afraid it will take more than 20. Thinking of this, Tang Xiaofan immediately ordered the soldiers and goblins to clean up the battlefield. Not long after, a message prompt arrived. The ranking rewards for the Beast Tide event had finally come out. Let me see what they are. Another world announcement. World announcement. The initial Beast Tide is completely over. Congratulations to the Castle Lords for passing the test and officially embarking on the road to dominating all races. Congratulations to the Castle Forces, the Black Technology Castle, for winning the championship in the combat PowerPoints list and laughing at the heroes. Congratulations to the Castle Lord Tang Xiaofan, who is ranked at the top of all living beings and is one step closer to the throne of the God King. Celebrate together and become a god. The world announcement. The golden characters are shining. If nothing unexpected happens, it will last until tomorrow before disappearing. This is the glory of all castle lords who successfully resisted the beast tide. At the same time, it is also the glory that belongs to Tang Xiaofan alone. Just the sentence ranked at the top of all living beings has established Tang Xiaofan's identity as the strongest castle lord. After all, this is an official recognition from above. It is not the flattery of other castle lords. Celebrate together and become a god. It also made the heat in the world chat channel soar. Hundreds of castle lords have come to this world. What is their goal? Of course, it is to become a god and live forever. Even those who gave up their status as castle lords and became wanderers because they were afraid of the beast tide, their goal is also to become immortal gods. The wanderers dare not face the beast tide, but it does not mean that they do not want to become gods. Gods are no longer legends or myths, but real creatures. Everyone is looking forward to igniting the divine fire. condensing the divine nature, opening up the kingdom of God, and becoming a god. At this moment, everyone who sees the world announcement is burning in their hearts. Chapter 121. Too many rewards, too good to choose. Every contestant from the world of gods and demons seemed to have a scene of themselves becoming a god in their mind at this moment. If I become a god, I will naturally punch through the dimensional barrier and return to Earth. My dream is very pure. In the future, I will move the Earth to my kingdom of God and travel around the world. Damn. Then I will move the entire solar system. Haha. Then I will move the entire Milky Way. I'll suffer a little loss, so I will move the entire universe. Let me interrupt. Big brother Tang Xiaofan is invincible. Do you need to say nonsense? Isn't this something everyone knows? So far, there are only 2 world announcements belonging to the castle lords, and the protagonists of these 2 world announcements are Big Brother Tang Xiaofan. As expected, the Big Brother's demeanor is unparalleled in the world. I just realized that all the castle lords who participated in the Beast Tide, and even those top castle lords who desperately scrambled for the 100 reward places, are all just the foil of Big Brother Tang Xiaofan. Glory belongs only to Big Brother Tang Xiaofan. I wonder what reward Big Brother Tang Xiaofan got for ranking first. A very awesome friend of mine, ranked 58th on the scoreboard, has a generous reward. Big Brother Tang Xiaofan is at the top of the list, so the reward must be incredible. I suspect it could be godhood. Brother Tang Xiaofan won't become a god directly, right? You're overthinking it. Even if he's number 1 on the list, he can't become a god directly. If that's the case, what's the point of fighting? That's true. But I think the rewards for number 1 will definitely be generous. How great it would be if it were me. That way more girls would add me as their friend. I envy Brother Tang Xiaofan. Get lost upstairs. Would Brother Tang Xiaofan be someone like you who is full of vulgar interests? That's right. I suspect the number of people who have applied to add Brother Tang Xiaofan as their friend is definitely over 100. But so far, except for that little follower, I've never heard of anyone adding Brother Tang Xiaofan as their friend. It seems that even Bear Grylls didn't add him. This is the man who ranks at the top of all living things. I want to worship the boss's spirit up close. Want to see Tang Xiaofan? Then go to the forest. If you find the devil, you'll find Brother Tang Xiaofan. As a wanderer, I'm already on my way. The world chat channel was bustling with activity. Countless castle lords were also guessing what the reward for Tang Xiaofan's number 1 spot was. Some people guessed artifacts, some guessed godhood, some guessed god level buildings, god level drawings, and so on. As for those who wanted to add Tang Xiaofan as a friend, there were even more. Tang Xiaofan found that the number of applications in his friend column had reached 180. This is a very terrifying number. It can be said that among the hundreds of castle lords and wanderers, there is only one person who does not know the name Tang Xiaofan. The 2 world announcements have directly raised Tang Xiaofan's popularity to the point where everyone knows him. This is the castle power. If it were the local power in the god and demon continent, even the gods of all races would pay attention to Tang Xiaofan. The reputation of ranking at the top of all living beings is not just a casual remark. Tang Xiaofan even believes that if he appears in the chat channel now and convenes an alliance, the alliance headed by him will definitely be the largest force. What Gods Alliance, Anti-Demon Alliance, Ice and Snow Alliance, Sea Kingdom, etc. all have to stand aside. As long as he raises his arm and calls out, there will definitely be countless castle lords and wanderers responding to him. With his fame and prestige, this is a matter of course. However, Tang Xiaofan does not want to establish a so-called alliance. At least not now. He does not want to be involved with too many people and things. As for the future, let's talk about it later. Tang Xiaofan turned off the world chat channel without thinking about it. He looked at the information prompt. This is the reward prompt that appeared along with the world announcement. Congratulations, Castle Lord Tang Xiaofan. Your bravery, strong will, and powerful arms have helped you get the highest combat power points and get first place in the scoreboard. This is your honor. I hope you will keep up the good work, establish your own dynasty as soon as possible, and dominate the world. You get the following rewards. Choose one of 5. Reward 1. One piece of equipment of random grade. The lowest is a holy weapon and the highest is a true artifact. Reward 2. The current castle level is increased by 3 levels. Reward 3. Randomly obtain the exclusive building of the initial army. Reward 4. Improve the strength of the army or 5 bloodline evolution quotas. Reward 5. Several castle supplies. Special unique reward. Heart of Dynasty. Divine object. Tang Xiaofan frowned, not quite understanding, and asked, "What is the Heart of Dynasty?" The castle forces must have the Heart of Dynasty to establish a dynasty, otherwise it will not be recognized by the world laws of the god and demon continent, and will most likely be attacked by the local empire. The Heart of Dynasty has been automatically integrated into the body of the castle lord, and can be used when establishing a dynasty. Is this the only reward? Tang Xiaofan was a little disappointed. He thought it was a divine artifact or godhood. Unexpectedly, it was just an item for the foundation of the dynasty. Of course, this thing is also very precious, and it must be very difficult to explode. After all, it is a divine object with amazing value. It can even be said that to some extent, its value exceeds that of a divine object. After all, only the dynasty established with it can be recognized by the world laws of the gods and demons continent. The establishment of a dynasty must have a period of growth. If it is for an ordinary castle lord, this period of growth is the most dangerous. After possessing the heart of the dynasty, it is likely that this period of growth can be passed. After the establishment of the dynasty, no matter how powerful the local forces are, they will not easily start a war between dynasties. Tang Xiaofan carefully sensed it, and found a golden mark in his mind. That should be the appearance of the rated divine object. He didn't think about it anymore, and looked at the other 5 rewards. The range of rewards is very wide. There are powerful equipment for Tang Xiaofan's own use, as well as 3 consecutive upgrades of the castle level, and exclusive buildings for arms. In addition, there are rewards that can enhance the strength of the arms under his command, and even supplies have appeared. Basically, everything about his castle has come as a reward. But the problem is that only one can be chosen, which makes Tang Xiaofan a little difficult to choose. He wants any of these 5 rewards. Which one should I choose? Tang Xiaofan fell into thinking, and after a moment, he decided to use the elimination method. First, let's exclude reward 5. Castle materials are very important to any castle lord. They can upgrade the castle and the initial military buildings. But for me, it is not very difficult to obtain castle materials. Especially now that I have a heavy factory, the transportation capacity of the heavy motorcycles produced can make it easy for me to obtain resources. Even if it is soulstones, I can get a lot of them by attacking local forces. Moreover, Tang Xiaofan also gained a large amount of soulstones in this beast-tide battle. So he made a rough estimate and excluded the material rewards first. Chapter 122. The exclusive building of the farmer family is the Terminator. The second thing to exclude is reward 2. The castle level is upgraded by 3 levels. Before, Tang Xiaofan's castle level was a primary town, and after 3 consecutive upgrades, it can be promoted to a primary city. In Tang Xiaofan's opinion, this is a bit of a tasteless reward. Because after upgrading the level of the castle, not only will there be no obvious increase in strength, but it will also increase the influence and reputation, and it may even attract a large-scale attack from the local forces in the forest. Especially the ogres, goblins and lizard empires that blacklisted him. These local forces are likely to send a large army to kill him. Although he is not afraid at all now, it is not worth it to do so. He needs to digest the rewards of this beast-tide as soon as possible. According to the progress of the arc reactor, start the development of Mark III armor, and recruit more soldiers, farmers, and workers for large-scale production. There are so many things to think about, and starting a war now is not the best choice. What's more, he has already ruled out the castle material rewards, so the upgrade of the castle level is not so important. It's still the same sentence. Compared with other castle lords, it is not difficult for him to obtain supplies, and the level of the castle can be quickly upgraded. Choosing to upgrade the castle, Tang Xiaofan felt that it was a waste of this precious reward, so he also excluded this reward option. Now there are 3 reward options left. one random piece of equipment, and comprehensively improve the strength of the troops under your command. Think about it. Random equipment has a minimum of holy artifacts and a maximum of true artifacts. It depends on luck. If you can get a true artifact randomly, it's not bad, but if it's a holy artifact, it's a bit meaningless. And am I the Emperor of Europe? Obviously not. I'm obviously not the chieftain. Holy artifacts are equipment used by saint-level strongmen. Equipment of this level is naturally powerful, but Tang Xiaofan feels that equipment is not too important to him. As long as his castle power is upgraded, and he attacks the powerful local forces, it should not be a problem to get holy artifacts. Holy artifacts will become common goods sooner or later. As for the true artifact, he wants it very much, but he must have the blessing of the goddess of luck. I definitely can't compare my luck with the little lolly underground. That's visible luck, and I can't count on it with my unlucky physique. If I really take a gamble and get an ordinary piece of equipment, wouldn't it be a waste of my work and such a big beast tied? The equipment reward will be aside for now. I don't have that kind of luck. Afterwards, Tang Xiaofan compared the last two reward options, which were a building exclusive to the initial troop, and an increase in the strength of the next troop, or 5 troop bloodline evolution quotas. It's not important to improve the strength of the army. After all, you can improve your level by killing enemies. Besides, my army mainly relies on equipment. Even if it is strong, it is not very useful. I can't use the blood evolution either. The foundation of all army types is farmers. What will the farmers' blood evolve into? The second generation of farmers? The third generation of farmers? Isn't that still farmers? Although as a farmer, the blood of humans has no potential, but God is fair. The intelligence and diligence of farmers are incomparable to other races with strong blood. That's right, even the most rubbish army type like goblins have their own unique features. During this period of time, Tang Xiaofan confirmed the advantage of goblins, that is, their fertility. A small goblin tribe has bred thousands of people within a year, and the maturity period of goblins is very short. Their goblins can reach adulthood within a year and participate in combat. Tang Xiaofan thought about it for a while and soon made a decision. His eyes focused on reward 3, and he randomly obtained an exclusive building for the initial army type. He didn't know what the exclusive building for farmers was, but it must be very important. You know, even the metal laboratory praised by Tang Xiaofan as a god-level building is just an ordinary scientific research building, not a farmer's exclusive building. There are many ways for farmers to strengthen their abilities, and tools are a necessary means for humans to strengthen themselves. Moreover, the demand for factory drawings has been released by himself. As long as there are enough factory drawings, let alone simple light armored vehicles, space carriers may not be built in the future. Therefore, this bloodline improvement reward was excluded by him. The last remaining reward is a building exclusive to the farmer clan. He has no doubt that the drawings of the exclusive building must be extremely difficult to explode. All other rewards can only be used to help his castle power quickly improve in the early and middle stages. The exclusive building belongs to the late stage of the divine object. In Tang Xiaofan's view, the value of the farmer clan's exclusive building far exceeds any other reward, including the real artifact and bloodline evolution. Tang Xiaofan chose it for another reason, that is, it is not a blueprint, but a direct building. There is no need to waste castle materials. What is the exclusive building for farmers? If it's a farmer factory, then I'll lose. After all, it's very easy to recruit farmers, unlike other advanced arms that need time to hatch or grow. And farmers don't need to consume a lot of resources. For example, the highest level barber profession only consumes 10 food units, which is not difficult at all. Thinking of this, Tang Xiaofan's breathing became faster and faster, but it is very likely not a farmer factory, because until now, he has not heard of anyone who has exploded the army building blueprints and has a second army building. Even if it is as lucky as a little lolly, it has not exploded. After all, such an arrangement would be too unreasonable. I choose reward 3. Tang Xiaofan no longer hesitated. He didn't even look at other rewards and identified the exclusive building of the farmer clan, randomly generating the exclusive building of the initial army of the current castle force. Random rewards completed and confirmed. Congratulations to the Castle Lord for obtaining the exclusive building of the Farmer Clan, a War Terminator launch silo. Please ask if you want to extract it. Yes, no at. This time, Tang Xiaofan was completely stagnant. The exclusive building that he randomly found was beyond his imagination. The exclusive building for the farmer turned out to be a War Terminator silo. It was a Terminator. Tang Xiaofan was completely confused. It took him a long time to come back to his senses. He took a few deep breaths and tried to calm his agitated mood. Jarvis, is this Terminator a big mushroom? Sir, from the current point of view, it should be. Oh my god. The exclusive building of the Farmer Clan is so powerful. Although the bloodline power has no potential, but the development of tools is better than all the races with strong bloodlines. Don't accept it? If you don't accept it, I will plant mushrooms for you. The exclusive building of the Farmer Clan is too powerful. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 123. The Terminator arrives and shocks people. Terminator. Launch silo. I'm rich. This time I'm definitely rich. Tang Xiaofan was very glad that he didn't choose the bloodline evolution reward and didn't randomly select equipment to covet the so-called real artifact. In front of the big mushroom, the real artifact is nothing. After all, this is the ultimate war weapon of the Farmer Clan, a weapon of absolute killing. A weapon that makes the final decision. Wait a minute, what should I do with my black technology castle? After extracting the launch silo, the castle is the core territory of the Castle Lord, and the Terminator launch silo is an ancillary building, independent of the castle. Tang Xiaofan understood. In short, the castle is the foundation of the Castle Lord. Even if his black technology castle is only a primary town now, it is his main base. It must be upgraded and cannot be destroyed. As for the launch silo of the big mushroom, it can be regarded as an ancillary building, relying on the castle. Extract. Tang Xiaofan said in his mind. In an instant, an extremely bright golden light appeared above the black technology castle, as if the whole sky was cracked. Then the shadow of a tall tower appeared in the golden light, and then it turned from virtual to real. A moment later, the shadow turned into a majestic giant tower. This giant tower was white and gold in color, as if it was made of fairy jade. It was surrounded by strange golden light, and exuded an incomparable holy light. The most shocking thing was that it stood directly on the side of the black technology castle, slightly higher than the 4-story black technology castle. Tang Xiaofan was really worried that it would explode. Once it exploded, all the wealth he had accumulated from hard work until now would be gone in an instant. At this time, the farmers in the city and the goblins who were about to return to their tribe stared at the tall silo in amazement. They were really impressed by Tang Xiaofan's ability to build a building with a wave of his hand. Fortunately, it showed no signs of explosion. It was always located on the side of the black technology castle. It seemed that there was a powerful force that bound it and could operate stably. As the tower began to operate, some idle farmers quickly took their positions, and relevant information was also transmitted back. Terminator silo. One Terminator is automatically produced every day. Need to guide the attack, and limited distance attack. The guide needs to be summoned, and the list of soldiers summoned has been synchronized. This is the big mushroom. Tang Xiaofan took a deep breath and immediately checked the specific properties of the Terminator silo. Terminator silo. Level. Primary. Faction. Black Technology Castle. Subsidiary ability 1. Invisibility. Not enabled. Subsidiary ability 2. 1 per hour. Not enabled. Current status. Normal. It's really powerful. Tang Xiaofan praised and looked at the silo with excitement. This kind of big killer is definitely the ultimate means compared to his current black technology castle. It's extremely powerful. In addition, the big mushroom is also equipped with 2 upgraded functions, which can only be gradually obtained after obtaining relevant drawings or prerequisites. Looking at the mighty tower, Tang Xiaofan suspected that once the Terminator is activated, not to mention the saint-level strongmen, demigods, even true gods can be killed with one shot. Its power is absolutely devastating, and there is no limit to the attack range. As long as the guide reaches the direction, the big mushroom can be released. It is simply the ultimate unsolvable attack. With the Mark armor, it avoids the weakness of the guide and the inability to move quickly. The combination of the two is simply perfect. The only bad thing is that the number of big mushrooms currently in stock is not much, only one a day, and it cannot be accumulated. That is to say, only one shot a day. As for the status of one shot per hour, it needs to be upgraded again. Not bad. It's much better than the one shot per month or year. Tang Xiaofan comforted himself. He suddenly thought of it and hurriedly asked Jarvis, "Jarvis, analyze the power of this big mushroom and whether it can be copied?" "Yes, sir, please wait." If the power is huge, the kind that destroys cities and countries, Tang Xiaofan decided to find a target to try it, but he must be cautious. If this kind of killer is released, there is basically no regret medicine. "Sir, the analysis results are out. The operation and production mechanism of the Terminator silo is unknown and cannot be copied. This means that this thing can only be obtained systematically, and there is no way to copy it. After analysis and simulation, the Terminator is extremely powerful, with a TNT equivalent of 1000 tons, a killing radius of 1000 meters, no radiation, and extremely low lethality to buildings, etc., mainly killing living things." Tang Xiaofan's scalp exploded instantly. This bomb is simply a noose of death. Once in combat, the opponent's headquarters, command center, and rear base camp, as long as they are discovered by their own armor, then it will be a big mushroom. That means the big mushroom in front is actually a bit useless to me. Yes, it is too powerful. For Tang Xiaofan, who has the Mark armor, it seems that there is no enemy that cannot be defeated. Forget it, at least it can be a trump card. Who knows what the future will be like, what kind of enemies will be encountered, if there are powerful local forces to attack his black technology castle, then he can activate this ultimate war weapon. Under normal circumstances, it is better to let the Terminator stay quietly in the silo and operate it harmlessly. Jianai, build a wall around this tower for me and make it higher. No one is allowed to get close. Yes, Lord. Tang Xiaofan made up his mind, but in order to ensure safety, he called Jianai to start building the wall. "Zanai, you select 10 soldiers to take turns to guard here, and no outsiders are allowed to get close." "Yes, Lord." As for the guide, Tang Xiaofan did not plan to recruit them now, because the guide is equivalent to a key. Now there is no need to make the key, otherwise if the guy accidentally unlocks it, it will be terrible, right? Looking at the busy workers and soldiers, Tang Xiaofan suddenly heard the excited words of the farmers and soldiers. "That is the ultimate weapon of our farmer clan, the Terminator. It's so shocking, I didn't expect to see the Terminator now. In this way, no one will dare to provoke us in the future." The farmers and soldiers were shocked to the extreme. As soldiers, they were naturally familiar with the Terminator. The Terminator is an exclusive building of the farmer clan, and it is a powerful war weapon that can attack the other dimension. The soldiers did not expect that such a war weapon would appear so quickly. Praise the Almighty Lord. The soldiers looked at Tang Xiaofan in admiration. In their view, it was the creator of their faith who summoned the war weapon such as the Terminator. Cooperate with the soldiers to conquer this vast alien world. The Terminator is coming. The glory of the Lord will surely shine on the entire continent of gods and demons. This world is destined to belong to the Almighty Lord. Chapter 124, Soul Reincarnation, Birth of New Soldiers. Zhan Yi was very excited. Zhan Er and other warriors were also extremely excited. Nothing could excite them more than the arrival of the Terminator. Looking at the Terminator silo standing there, every warrior's eyes lit up. With the Terminator, they have a foothold in this alien world. The surrounding goblins were trembling all over. When the Terminator stood up, they couldn't help but kneel on the ground and worship the omnipotent Lord. That is the miracle of the Lord. Almighty Lord, please protect your devout goblin believers. May glory always be there. May you be eternal. Led by the goblin elders, the goblins kept whispering and praying. At the same time, they also eagerly hoped that the glory of the Lord could cover the Goblin clan, so that the Goblin tribe in the forest and even the Goblin kingdom would believe in their Lord. Only faith can save the Goblin clan. Only the glory of the Lord can dispel the darkness and evil forces in the forest and let the goblins be saved. The goblins' faith is incomparably firm. Many goblins present were promoted from devout believers to fanatics the moment the Terminator appeared. The Lord showed miracles. As believers, what reason do they have not to strengthen their inner faith? Tang Xiaofan looked at the first-class warrior Zan and said with a smile, the Terminator cannot be included in the war plan for the time being. First develop the Black Technology Castle, and when we encounter a strong enemy, the Terminator will appear on the battlefield. Almighty Lord. The warriors naturally obeyed the Lord's words. Besides, the Terminator has already arrived, so how far is it from entering the battlefield? It's nothing more than seeing whether the enemy is worth using. As the warrior team continues to expand the hunting range and attack the surrounding local forces, they will encounter more and more enemies and become stronger and stronger. They believe that it won't take long before the Terminator can enter the battlefield. By that time, the Lord's castle will sweep across the forest and establish a powerful dynasty. Tang Xiaofan nodded slightly and said, clean up the battlefield, collect the soul stones and the exploded blueprints, and give them to me. In addition, collect the bodies of those wild monsters, which are all food and cannot be wasted. Looking at the corpses all over the ground, Tang Xiaofan couldn't help but have a headache. How long will it take to collect and decompose nearly 10,000 large and small wild monster corpses? I'm afraid it will take at least 2 hours. Fortunately, there are farmers. Although the strength of farmers is weak, they have mastered basic skills such as logging, mining, and dissection. Handing the monster corpses to them, Tang Xiaofan can be freed from the heavy work of collecting and decomposing. At this time, the goblins were singing. They were commemorating the goblins who died in the battle just now, hoping that they could ascend to heaven and become the servants of the Lord. It's a pity that several goblins died heroically before they began to shine. At this time, Tang Xiaofan suddenly thought of the temple. The souls of the goblins who died in the battle were taken away by the temple. As long as they consume soul stones, they can be reborn. And the reborn ones are no longer goblins, but new soldiers. New soldiers? Tang Xiaofan looked at the temple not far away, which was emitting holy light. He suddenly wanted to know what the new soldiers that appeared in the information prompt were. Thinking of this, Tang Xiaofan couldn't hold back his curiosity and entered the temple alone. As for the farmers, they were sweeping the battlefield and collecting spoils. At the same time, the battlefield also needed to be cleaned. The entire battlefield was covered with limbs and blood, which made people feel uncomfortable. It was the first time Tang Xiaofan walked into the temple. He had never been there before. The main hall of the temple was a little empty, and the decoration was not so magnificent. The main color was wholly white. At the top of the hall stood a statue of Tang Xiaofan. On his left and right, on the next step, stood a sculpture of an 18-winged angel, and then 4 6-winged archangels, and 8 14-winged seraphim. In other words, the angels who can live in the temple must be 14-winged angels at least. Of course, the angels Tang Xiaofan saw now were just statues, not real angels. If they were real angels, let alone the forest, with just an 18-winged archangel at the main god level, which god in the god and demon continent could compete? Could it be that the soul can be transformed into an angel in the temple? But if you can reincarnate as an 18-winged archangel, I guess you have to have a full luck value, right? Tang Xiaofan shook his head and stopped thinking about it. Then, his eyes fell on the front of the hall, where there was a long table with a golden holy grail on the table. A familiar prayer sound came faintly from the Holy Grail, and Tang Xiaofan immediately understood that the souls led by the temple had entered the Holy Grail. As soon as he thought about it, a series of streamers flew out of the Holy Grail. You have obtained 285 pure souls baptized by the divine power. 285 souls. It means that in this battle of the beast tide, 285 goblins died. As for the other goblins who were sacrificed, their souls were not received because they were beyond the range of the temple. Tang Xiaofan didn't know where they went. Tang Xiaofan stretched out his right hand, and the 285 souls turned into light rain and fell into his palm. Then he walked towards the farmer's factory. After arriving near the farmer's factory, Tang Xiaofan took out a soul light spot and put it into the factory. What he was concerned about now was how many soul stones were needed to allow the soul to reincarnate into a new soldier. If it exceeded his expectation, then these souls would temporarily continue to stay in the holy chalice of the temple. Do you want to consume 10 soul stones to reincarnate the soul? Yes. No. The information prompt appeared again. 10 soul stones. 285 souls. That's 2,850 soul stones. With my current soul stone reserves, it's not that I can't take them out. It just seems a bit too much. Soul stones are very important to Tang Xiaofan. Their main use is to upgrade the level of the soldier building farmer's factory. Before considering the safety of the castle, he planned to let Jarvis set up an energy shield to protect the castle after the soul stones were sufficient. Now he has the human Terminator, a killer. Then the plan to set up an energy shield can be put on hold for the time being, because he believes that as long as he releases the Terminator, even a saint level strongman or a demigod can't withstand his attack. If a large-scale enemy force attacks, then directly attacking the opponent's rear base or command center can also paralyze the opponent's attack. Anyway, with the Terminator, setting up an energy shield is not so meaningful, but it will seem a bit wasteful. Wait until all the spoils are collected and see how many soul stones there are before talking about soul reincarnation. After all, the upgrade of the farmer's factory is important. Thinking of this, Tang Xiaofan waved his right hand, and then soul light rain flew to the temple and returned to the Holy Grail. In the end, only 2 souls were left. Both came from those goblins, and he put both souls into the farmer's factory. Chapter 125. The new summoned soldier is an angel. Do you want to consume 20 soul stones to help the current soul reincarnate? Yes. No. Tang Xiaofan chose yes. Soon, the farmer's factory shone with holy white light, and there seemed to be little angels singing soft hymns. Not long after, 2 balls of light flew out of the farmer's factory and landed in front of Tang Xiaofan. When the ball of light broke, 2 little angels appeared in front of Tang Xiaofan. They were about 20 centimeters tall, wearing holy robes that had been transformed, with fair and translucent skin, big eyes like gemstones, and chubby faces, looking very cute. On the backs of the 2 little angels, there were snow white wings. A pair of wings. This is the holy body of the double-winged angel. Lord. The 2 little angels flapped their wings, flew in front of Tang Xiaofan, and then put their little hands together on their chests, and saluted Tang Xiaofan. In their hearts, Tang Xiaofan is the omnipotent lord, the founding god who created the angel clan. Their belief in Tang Xiaofan is extremely fanatical. In Tang Xiaofan's vision, 2 little angels information templates also appeared. 2-winged angel Holy Spirit, current growth status, Holy Spirit, strength level, level 3, killing enemies can quickly increase the level, loyalty 100, die hard, perfect form, demigod 2-winged angel. PS. The growth status of angels is divided into 4 stages: Holy Spirit, juvenile body, growth stage, and perfect body. The information template of another little angel is the same. There is no difference, as expected of an angel, although it is only level 3 now. After adulthood, perfect body, its strength has reached the level of demigod, second only to gods. This is just a 2-winged angel. If it is a 4-winged angel, a 6-winged angel, a 12-winged angel, an 18-winged angel, etc. with more wings, how much stronger will it be? Tang Xiaofan suddenly thought of a question. The initial strength of the 2-winged angel Holy Spirit reached the 3rd level. So if it is the Holy Spirit of the 18-winged angel, its strength will not be comparable to that of a real god. How terrifying will it be after adulthood? Thinking of this, Tang Xiaofan's breathing suddenly became rapid. If the reincarnation of the soul can breed an 18-winged angel Holy Spirit, then he will soar directly into the sky. Special reminder, the light camp soldiers appear in your castle forces, and you will gain the friendship value of the light, lawful, and good camps. And the hatred value of the evil and dark castle forces will increase. Looking at the information of the new soldiers, Tang Xiaofan was a little surprised. He didn't expect that the pure souls of 2 goblins would reincarnate into angels of the light camp. The initial level of the little angels is very low. However, their growth potential is not bad, and they may become gods in the future. In general, these 2 angel holy spirits have great training value. It is worthwhile to exchange 10 soul stones for a soldier with great growth potential. Almighty Lord, may the holy light always be there, and may you be eternal. The 2 little angels saluted Tang Xiaofan with great reverence. Their beliefs are as fanatical as saints. They were Tang Xiaofan's fanatics when they were born. In the future, if Tang Xiaofan wants to train saints, he will find the most suitable one among them. Especially the little angels among them can be selected to become saints. HMM. Tang Xiaofan nodded slightly. What is your main job? The 2 little angels said in unison. Our main job is to spread the Lord's faith, which can purify the darkness and evil forces in the world and let light cover the world. Tang Xiaofan's eyes lit up slightly. The little angels must be much better than farmers in spreading faith. Just right. Tang Xiaofan said to the 2 little angels, you are responsible for pacifying the goblins, and then follow the goblins to their tribes to build temples. Yes, Lord Almighty. The 2 little angels saluted respectfully. However, the farmers who changed their jobs to temple priests in the temples next to them were full of regrets. Tang Xiaofan said to them, don't worry, the temple will expand in the future. You do your job well. There will be more alien souls in the future, and you need to manage them well. Recently, after the arc reactor is installed, Tang Xiaofan plans to start sweeping the surrounding forces. Whether it is from other castles or local forces, they must be cleaned up. At that time, there will definitely be many opportunities to absorb alien souls, and then they will be transformed into angels on a large scale. However, angels still need farmers to manage them, otherwise it may lead to biased beliefs. Praise you, the Almighty Lord. Several temple priests saluted Tang Xiaofan respectfully. It is their honor to serve the Lord. What's more, it was arranged by the Lord himself, which is a favor from the Lord. It makes them very excited. After arranging the work of the little angel, as for Tang Xiaofan, he opened the world chat channel. There are still countless castle lords in the channel discussing the topic of winning the first place in the combat power score list with a black technology castle. There are also many people speculating what rewards Tang Xiaofan has received. They are never tired of it. Tang Xiaofan felt that it was meaningless, so he was ready to turn off the chat channel. But at this time, he accidentally discovered that a castle lord claimed that he saw golden light above the forest, and a huge tower fell from the sky and disappeared. This attracted his attention because it showed one thing. In the forest, a castle lord found a launch silo. At the same time, the appearance of keywords such as golden light and tower also caused the world chat channel to quickly shift the topic. Everyone speculated what the tower was. Why did it appear above the forest, and why did it disappear in the end? Some castle lords linked the tower to Tang Xiaofan, believing that the golden tower was the reward Tang Xiaofan received from the Beast Tide event. After all, Tang Xiaofan's high-tech castle was located in the forest. However, this speculation was not supported. How could the reward for the Beast Tide event be a tower? If it was a divine weapon, a godhood, or even Tang Xiaofan's direct godhood, it would be more credible than rewarding a tower. Some people also speculated that it was just a mirage because the tower appeared with golden light. More people said that it might be a deliberate attempt to create a topic to attract attention. The reason is simple. There are too few people who saw the tower. Only a few people. Many castle lords in the forest stood up and said that they did not see the so-called golden light, let alone the tower. Therefore, this topic was finally left unresolved. The deeds of the golden tower, except for those people involved, no one else took it to heart. As for Tang Xiaofan, he no longer paid too much attention. He took a look at the more than 20,000 units of ordinary food he put on the shelf, and still no one was interested. I'm afraid it won't be sold in a short time. After the castle defense battle in the early morning and the Beast Tide battle that just ended, the castle lords had no shortage of food. In other words, the food here couldn't be sold at all. We can only wait for a while until the castle lords' food reserves are consumed. And the scale of their troops is getting bigger and bigger, and the more food they consume, at that time, the food market will flourish again. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.